Om Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasya Adilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachanam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunaraitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Thank you, Swamiji, for helping me today. Okay, so welcome to the show. Today, the viewers, we have Mr. Balkrishnan Chadalawada. Some of us are sitting in North America. Me, Gyanatmaya, and Bharataya. And Balkrishna is from India. Okay, and so we are going to talk about the comparative civilization comparative. We are discussing about the comparing Aztec and Roman civilization with the Hindu civilization, how those two civilizations have been now vanished from the face of the earth, with Hindu civilization which is going in that similar path, right? So that is the one we are talking. So Balakrishna, yeah. So what we do is, like, we translate. So last 200 to 300 years, the Europeans have been looking at Hindus as from the Western lens, Western gaze,
Yes.
Western drishti, right? So now we are reversing the gaze, we are reversing the drishti, we are looking Hindus from Hindus drishti, right? So that
Yes.
is the way we talk. So, and most of these words, like I'm extremely heavily influenced by Sri Rajiv Malhotra, is the Infinity Foundation. So some of these terms we want, though, is all non-translatables, like Sanskrit words,
Yes.
like that. So for sir, we use Aya. For madam, we say Ma. Okay, we use those terms. So because to keep our Hinduism alive, right? So we wanted to talk about those things so that we are there. We speak a language is in English, but we speak
Yes.
Hindu, right? So that's
Yes.
our Hindu concepts to keep our tradition alive, right? So, so today's topic is comparing Hindu civilization with Aztec civilization and Roman civilization. How those other native traditions have been destroyed or like disappeared from the face of the earth. That we are going to listen from you. So before that, we wanted to hear from you. So can you just a little bit talk about your background? Where you're born, and how your journey towards how you become activist Hindu, or the intents, or the sincere seeker of Hinduism. Yeah, if you can give a little introduction. Yeah.
And there is nothing much to say about me. My name is Balakrishna. I'm from Hyderabad, and I'm working in Chennai in IT for the last around 15 years or so. So I'm. It's just I come from a traditional Hindu family, and that's a part of the reason. Two reasons. One is the rampant conversions available everywhere in India, and the second thing is interest towards what is mine. These are the two major things which are driving me in this direction. I cannot call myself an activist or someone who is regularly involved in such stuff, but I'm interested enough to do my part wherever it may I have an opportunity, or I have a role, or
Okay. So the reason why I was saying is the
yes.
activist Hindu means active Hindu. Like compared to an average Hindu, the average Hindu, what does they do if he has like bhakti, goes to puja, he
Yes.
does puja, and then go to temple, and then actively participates in the festivals, and then he lives
Hmm.
his religion, right? And active.
Yes. Yes.
But you are not only you are doing that, but you also went a little extra studying about other civilizations, about Hinduism, right? So that is where I am drawing the
Yes.
distinction. You are much more than an average Hindu. So most, if you see, there are around our 2 billion Hindus worldwide, right? Living
Mm.
Hinduism blissfully, enjoying life, right? But you didn't stop there. Everybody just stopped there because for whatever reasons.
Mm.
But you went beyond that. Make sense? Right? So
Yes.
so
Partly.
you are also born into a traditional Hindu family, and then your parents followed the regular traditional prayers, and then the rituals, pujas, vratas, homas, like that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how many people in your house, like brother, sister?
I have one sister.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
So
so
Okay, yeah, good. So your parents were all Western educated or Gurukul educated?
Western educated, both of them are.
Western educated, like
Both
everybody.
of them are. Yes.
Both are Western educated. Okay, very good. So how did you take interest into this, the study of civilizations and the comparative study of civilizations?
One reason is I'm uh, uh, more interested in history from the start.
Hmm.
Okay, and generally what happens is when you're reading about some topic, you will find you will and if there are some links with that is, I won't say links. If sometimes you when you're reading stuff randomly, you will find some
Hmm.
parallels.
Hmm.
You look into the parallels and you start digging into your topic. It opens a completely new world.
Hmm.
So when you're focusing on ultimately what happens is when you're focusing on Indian civilization, you'll be looking only at stuff relating only to India and from
Hmm.
and a discussion of what is happening inside India.
Hmm.
We generally don't look at or we generally don't expand our horizon to understand what is happening all over the world. So
Hmm.
sometimes what happens is when you are looking into medieval European history or something, one thing which strikes you more at regarding that is uh, the absolute dominancy. Especially if you look if you look at the time period between around 5th century AD to around 10th or 11th century AD, that is
Hmm.
the time that was the period of rise of Christian civilization.
Hmm.
So if even if you are looking into some random topic over European civilization, you'll be seeing the domination of Christianity and the
Hmm.
subjugation of the local religion,
Hmm.
whatever you may call it.
Hmm.
You call it a small tribal cult. You consider it an advanced theological setup or whatever. Ultimately, what you will be seeing is it's a rise of Christianity at the expense of a different religion.
Hmm.
Yes, there was a level of clash between Islam and Christianity in the earlier days.
Hmm.
Somewhere you see it in two phases when the Arab Caliphates rose and when Ottomans entered Europe. Excluding that, as a general rule, you will notice that the whole of European civilization is about the fight between Christianity and the native traditions.
Hmm.
It's not just about history, but what you will notice this more starkly when when you're reading about European poetic tradition, especially these Norse mythological cycles and all those things. All these what is it? Scandinavian gods, Odin, Thor, and all these people. Whenever you are reading about them, you will
Hmm.
know. You will suddenly at some point you'll realize that a civilization which has got this level of depth,
Hmm.
was it sophisticated or not, that is, was it sophisticated or not, or was it a capable religion or not, that is all secondary. but what
Hmm.
we are but what we are seeing here is we are seeing very vast stretch with the areas which
Hmm.
followed a completely different religion, and suddenly you will
Hmm.
see that these religions are pushed back and is replaced by a different religion.
Hmm. So how did it start? Continue. Continue. Hmm. Hmm.
Yes. So that's what. So when you're looking into even that's what I was telling, right? Um, Even if you're having a brief glance over European history, this is the
Hmm.
first thing which will strike you: the retreat
Hmm.
of traditional religion.
Hmm.
You do the same thing to Americas, you'll see the same thing. You do the same thing in Europe, you will see the same thing. And in fact, you look into Tibet also, you will see the same thing.
Hmm.
In the case of Tibet, it was Buddhism, but again,
Hmm.
you'll see the same pattern.
Hmm.
So what I'm trying to tell here is once you stop looking only at India and start looking outside India, whatever the
Hmm.
topic,
Hmm.
you pick medieval poetry, you pick history, any you consider in or take you talk about theology, whatever the
Hmm.
topic you may consider, you will finally understand that it's a clash of I won't say clash of religions, it's a clash of sorry, it's not a clash of civilizations, but it's a clash of religions always.
Wow.
The-
So it's so even though the all the historians and then all the captor or the invaders, right? Once they conquer, So this is a conqueror story. So the historically, all the whatever the West is trying to project, that it is a clash of civilizations, and what you have noticed is actually it's a clash of religions, right?
It's a
So the
clash of
one
religion.
over the
Yes.
other.
Yes,
Continue.
exactly. Now, see, if you, I don't remember where I read it, but there is a different concept of there is a different concept of religion here.
Mm,
Someone classified the religion into something called primary religions and secondary religions.
mm,
Okay, primary religions are something which are formed. Secondary are which are created.
mm,
How are they created? It can be it can be a rebellion. It can be a uh, it can be a branch of, like, take the case of Buddhism,
mm,
or take the case of Christianity.
mm,
The Especially these two, if you consider, they are
mm,
branches. They are rebellions from the original religion.
mm,
Okay, now go to the next level. The other kind is a branch of Islam. Is a branch of Islam. Is not a rebellion against existing Christian or Jewish theology.
mm,
Uh, this is the first tier you have got, and
mm,
the second tier you have got is something called what we call is mosaic distinction.
mm,
Basically, what it says is, till the time Moses came.
mm,
First of all, what is religion?
mm,
Yes, there is a theological concept associated with it. There is a metaphysical aspect associated with it. But from a human perspective, what is religion?
mm,
It represents the society. It represents the society and the societal truth. That
mm,
is, uh, and then when I say truth, what is a truth? It can be a mathematical one. That is, 1 + 1 = 2. Nothing can change that. It can be sensual. If you touch fire, your hand will burn. Nothing can change that. It can be moral. You cannot go and thieve in someone's house. And uh, uh, and some things are empirical, like what we say is sunrise in the east. Just because
mm,
we call the direction as the east, there is no other option for us to believe that sunrise in the east. and uh,
mm,
there is and there is no way that can go wrong. But
mm,
when Moses came into the picture, he brought in a fifth concept here, the
mm,
uh, uh, the concept of blind faith.
mm,
It doesn't matter whether what I'm saying is correct or not, but
mm,
because I said that, you will have to believe it. So if I
mm,
say sunrise in the west, you will have to believe in sunrise in the west. Whether it is
mm,
correct or not, it's not my problem. Because I
mm,
said I said that, you will have to accept that fact.
mm, mm,
Okay, this is the next level of issue. So ultimately, because of this, what happens is, when someone starts saying sunrise in the west, and you say no, 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 sunrise in the east. You take the case of the early Rome, early Alexandria. What was
mm,
her name? Hypatia, I guess. She was a woman philosopher.
mm,
Uh, I- um, and she's one of the last prominent person in Alexandria who resisted conversion to Christianity.
mm,
Ultimately, they caught hold of her, they executed her. That's a different story. But
mm,
what her story represents here is, uh, Christians believed that the earth was flat.
mm. The Christians believe that
The earth was flat.
earth was flat. Mm,
Yes,
mm,
but she did not stop at the fact that earth is round. But she was trying to prove that the earth, and the orbit around the earth's orbit around the sun, they are elliptical and not even spherical,
mm,
spherical and circular.
mm,
So it's a clash between what you believe is true and what is actually true.
mm,
At that point, what will you do?
mm,
Which side? Whom will you consider?
mm,
Will you consider your guru or teacher who says that this is correct,
mm,
or will you look around and say which this is correct?
mm,
Which of the two will you give a preference to or priority to?
mm,
This is where Abrahamic religions differ from other. Yes,
Mm.
there is a level of, even if you go to Buddhism, you look at what is happening in Myanmar now, because
Mm.
it's a sort of Myanmar or Sri Lanka. It's a sort of very aggressive Buddhism.
Mm.
Yes, there is a level of, there is a level of violence. There is a level of because you are rebelling. You need to hold on to your flock. You need to hold on to your flock. Ultimately, that leads to either, sometimes it leads to violence. Sometimes the case is that you are theologically very strong enough that people will convert to you. Example,
Mm.
Buddhism and Jainism. They did
Mm.
not have a long shelf life in India, but
Mm.
ultimately what happened was people convert. The
Mm.
whole country converted to at one point of time, the whole country converted to Buddhism. At one point, the whole country converted to Christianity. Sorry, not
Mm.
Christianity, Jainism.
Mm.
But people voluntarily accepted them.
Mm.
You may call them separate religions. You may call them separate cults. Both are
Mm.
same. Effectively,
Mm.
both mean the same.
Mm.
But and on the other hand, what happens is, if people are not ready to accept what you are saying, what happens at that point?
Mm.
You will have to keep your flock together.
Mm.
The greatest example you need not go further than the episode of the golden cow, which comes in Bible,
Mm.
in the Old Testament.
Mm.
Basically, what happened there? What is projected to us, and what happened then? If you look into that story,
Mm.
Moses says that I'll climb the Mount of Zion.
Mm.
I'll speak with the God. Moses goes there. Fine.
Mm.
He doesn't come back for a long time.
Mm.
Then what happens? In the meanwhile, what happens? People start believing a separate God. That
Mm.
the golden, they start considering that golden God as their God, because Moses is not coming. Moses is not, he did not live up to his words.
Mm.
So in this aspect, then what happens? Suddenly, one fine day Moses comes down, and he sees people praying to a golden cow. At that point, what
Golden
happens is
cow.
he,
So the
yes,
so when so the people the during the Moses time, so that all so they were called Jews, right? So the Jews were praying to the golden cow, and because they given up hope on the Moses, saying Moses didn't come in as he promised,
yes,
so they started following the golden cow. Okay. Mm.
exactly.
Mm.
So that is it was during the formative days of the religion.
Mm.
And see, you need to impose your will on the people, right?
Mm.
There is a sort of traditional version. People need to accept that. People need to accept that fact. You need
Mm.
to convince people that what you're doing currently is wrong,
Mm.
and you need to follow only my path. At that
Mm.
point, what Moses does is, he doesn't convince the people. He
Mm.
goes and destroys the cow.
Mm.
Basically,
Mm.
he violently imposes his form of thought on the religion. Sorry,
Mm.
on the people.
Mm.
He breaks them into what is the strength he has got, we don't know.
Mm.
Okay, he breaks the people into submission.
Mm.
This is one fundamental aspect whenever you are seeing a secondary religion, where in most of the cases where
So
you will
even the
see
Judaism is a secondary religion or primary religion?
Judaism, you can consider it both as a primary as well as a secondary religion.
Mm.
Primary religion because it evolved
Mm.
almost independently. Secondary religion because uh, it is a sort of extension of Egyptian religion.
Mm. Okay.
If you look at it very closely,
Mm.
uh, generally what people say is that is the Western, the traditional scholarship, what it says is this Garden of Eden and all those things, they
Mm.
came from Mesopotamia, is what they say.
Okay, so
Okay.
one second. Okay, so let's little back up. So because most of
Okay.
Hindus, right,
Mm.
they have
Yes.
zero clue. See, the Abrahamic religions, Judaism,
Yes.
Buddhism,
Mm.
Judaism, Christianity, and Islam in general, they all have a fairly good idea about the Hindu religions, like Hinduism, Buddhism,
Yes. Mm.
Sikhism, and Jainism, right? But whereas the Hindus have zero clue about the Abrahamic religion, they don't even know. If you say Abrahamic religions, they may not even know. But if you say Christianity, Islam, they
Mm.
may know. Judaism also not many people know. Only the
A lot
Christianity,
of people
Islam,
don't know.
right?
It's
So,
only
so for
Christianity
them,
for us.
so for the benefit of those Hindus, right? So can you
Mm.
just give a just brief? about that, how these religions came about, or the how the Moses, right? What is Moses? How is it? If you can just give a little brief, and so that our viewers, right, the audience can have an understanding, right? So can you just give a
Okay.
little? Yeah.
Okay. See, traditionally, what uh, Abrahamic religions tell is Moses is a see. The story goes that a certain king of Egypt gets a prophecy, gets an oracle that his rule will be destroyed, or there'll be a rebellion led by a Jewish child, led by a slave of the. I won't say Jewish, led by a slave of the child of a slave. And he goes on and he decides and he goes on a purge. He goes on a purge. What he does is, what happens is, one Jewish lady, she puts her son in a boat and leaves him. That son lands up in the court, in the Egyptian court somehow. He grows up into a prince of Egypt, and then in due course of time, he raises a rebellion, and he is ejected out of the country with his brother
Of
chasing him.
Egypt. So
Yes,
he just kicked out of Egypt, right?
kicked out of Egypt, and
Mm.
the God promises him land to settle.
Mm.
He roams around with his people and finally settles in Israel.
So that means there was a lady, so who is a slave in Egypt, right?
Yes,
And then she
yes,
has a child, a divine child, which she wants to hide, and so puts him in a small boat, and then puts in the river. It goes, ends up in the Egypt, in the hands of the
yes.
the kingdom, the Egyptian, the princess
It ends up near the palace. It lands up
palace.
near
It
the
ends up
palace.
in the palace, and
Yes,
then they picked up, and then they raised this kid. And then once the kid, so even they don't know that it's their, the slave kid, but
yes,
he is brought up as the like a king, right, a prince. And then once he grew up, and then he rebellion, he does the rebellion against the establishment. Then finally they figured out, and then they kicked him out of the country. So he takes his slaves and to a place, right? Did I
yes,
get it right? Did I understand?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, continue.
So these slave, so with them he carves his own estate or kingdom or whatever you may call it.
Mm,
So
mm,
at this point, so as a part of this travel, you come to know of this the story of the golden cow as a part of this.
So so he takes them to some place, and
Yes. In the
promising
yes,
all these slaves that he takes them from the slavery, the freeing them from slavery in Egypt, right? So he's freeing them.
yes,
So he took them to a promised land, and then leaves them somewhere, and then goes to the top of the mountain to talk to God and
exactly,
get the directions, right?
exactly, exactly. So that is how so that is from the start you will see that these Abrahamic religions, there is sort of, I won't say mind control also, there is sort of top down uh, uh, imposition of writ. That's what you will notice. Moses said that this is what people should believe, and that is what people believe. And
Mm,
because they did not believe him, he destroyed what those people felt or held dear to them.
mm,
This is how your Judaism started. And I
mm.
won't even call it Judaism. Mm,
The followers of Moses started,
yeah,
right? So
yes, yes,
he created the Ten Commandments, and then he
exactly.
the story of splitting the river, or the river,
Yes,
right? Right, the
yes.
Red River, which is I think one of those rivers,
Red
right?
Sea, Red
Yeah,
Sea.
Red Sea. Yeah.
Split open the
Okay.
Red Sea.
Mm-mm.
Uh, there is a reason why I'm not calling it Judaism, because Judaism is a later. See, then at this point, what happens? See, Moses is considered to be the first historical figure in biblical mythology.
Mm.
They trace their
So he's
answer.
the
They
first.
trace the
Can we call him a first prophet of in the Abrahamic religions?
not the first prophet.
Uh,
You should, that's what first historically attested character according to them.
uh,
Whether it, whatever is the truth in that, because see there is something called hero cycle.
mm,
Basically what happens is there are some standard traits which we notice for heroes all over the world, especially something which is centered not just especially which is centered around Middle East, but you will notice that there are some common traits. Like if you compare Krishna, Lord Krishna, or Karna with Moses or Jesus, how different are the stories? Take the case of Lord Krishna. Okay, his uncle was the king.
mm,
His uncle gets to know that he will be destroyed by his nephew.
mm,
What he does, he arrests his parent. He
mm,
arrests Lord Krishna's parents,
mm,
and at the right moment, her father, Lord Krishna's father Vasudeva, he carts him
mm,
out of the prison.
mm,
He grows up in an alternate uh, identity, comes
mm,
back, kills his uncle, takes back the throne.
mm.
Okay, and now compare the
So
story.
similarly, that means then the sea opens up to the that Krishna's
Yamuna
father, right?
opens. Yes,
Vasudeva, Yamuna, right?
yes.
Uh,
Or you take the case of Karna. In Karna's
mm,
case, what happens? He's thrown away by his mother. He's thrown away by his mother,
mm,
and he becomes a hero again. Take the case of
mm,
Jesus. What
mm,
happens? He's persecuted.
mm,
His parents flee their native place, and
mm,
somehow he's not uh, he did not get separated by his parents. But ultimately, what happens is he rebels.
mm,
He creates his own kingdom. That is the kingdom of God, is what they say.
mm,
Moses, same story.
mm,
You have to take the case of you go to the Sargon of Akkad, one of the prominent Mesopotamian kings. It's the same story.
mm,
Hiawatha in uh, Native American mythology, and
mm,
not mythology, Native American history. It's the same story.
mm,
So there
mm,
is something called that is there are some 10 or 15. I think there are some 12 traits identified in these hero cycles. Even
mm,
in 95% of the cases, in 80 to 95% of the cases, you will see that these kingdoms will follow. Sorry, these hero stories will follow 9 of the 12 points. That
mm,
is,
mm,
he has got a divine birth. Even Alexander also,
mm,
he has got a divine birth.
mm,
That is, he's not born to his father and mother.
mm,
He separated from he separated from his parents in the childhood.
mm,
He lives in an he lives in a sort of alternate identity. Slowly comes back, learns the truth, and then he takes charge of affairs.
mm,
And 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 in most of the cases, one very rare exception with respect to Jesus, not Moses,
mm.
is Jesus doesn't die according to them. He's
Jesus?
executed. He's doesn't die, right? He's executed, but he comes back. But he comes
Mm,
back and climbs to the heaven. This is
mm,
one rare exception you will see with Jesus. But in
mm,
all the other cases, you will see the same story.
mm.
So the question then will be how much of it is original and how much of it is how is
It's
copied from the
poetic.
peoples.
Mm,
Yes,
mm. Additional
yes,
poetic. Mm, mm,
both poetic as well as whether it is copied from some other thing.
mm,
Because see,
mm,
if I'm saying that there are at least there are at least 10 to 15 Mesopotamian and Egyptian kings having the same story.
mm,
Give me one reason why I should believe whatever is happening here is correct.
mm,
Happened, because
mm,
see, you are following a template, right? How many
mm,
how many people in the world will have the same what is it, upbringing, not upbringing, the whole life story
mm,
charted in the
mm,
same thing.
mm, mm,
Okay, coming to this Abrahamic religions, this is one side of the thing, and the second side of the
mm,
thing is, I said that Judaism is both primary and secondary, right?
mm,
See, you will notice that this Judaic religion, Abrahamic religions, is a sort of civilizational evolution.
mm,
It's not completely. It did not come out of the thin air.
mm,
Uh, if you look closely into Egyptian mythology, what you will notice
mm,
is Egypt was also Egypt also had many gods.
mm.
many equal gods.
Mm.
At some point, slowly, what with what we will see is these equal gods gave way to one supreme god.
Mm.
And at one point, what happened is one particular king, Akhenaten by name, what he said
What's
was,
his name?
no, my
What's his name?
Akhenaten,
Aken Hatton.
Akhenaten.
Mm.
Ak- Uh, one particular god, Akhenaten, what he says is, uh, no, the god which I'm following is the only god.
Mm.
Everyone else is a false god.
Mm.
You will see. Okay, first it was every god was equal, and then one god
Mm.
becomes supreme, and then he says that there is no other god except the one which I'm praying.
Mm.
It was a violent disruption of Islam. It was a violent disruption of Egyptian life,
Mm.
and the religion did not survive him. His it is assumed that he was succeeded by his wife
Mm.
uh, as a ruler. Uh,
Mm.
his wife unable he was a strong king. The people were not able to oppose him. But when he passed away, and when the rebellion was slowly brewing up, his wife accepted the old ways. Slowly you will see the disappearance of his Akhenaten cult. Now, uh, now you will see that this Abrahamic religions or whatever Moses said is approximately identical to what Akhenaten said.
So
My
what
God is
Moses said? What did he say? What Moses said?
my God is the only God, right? My God is
Ah,
the only
right.
true God.
Mm. Mm.
My God is
Mm.
the only true God, and everyone else is a
Mm.
false God. That is what
Mm.
Akhenaten said.
So
That
he
is what
just
Moses said.
followed the Aken. What's his name? Aken. Uh,
Akhenaten. Aten is a god
Akhenaten.
name. Yes,
Yeah,
Aten is a god
Akhenaten.
name.
Mm. So the king, the Egyptian king, who said that I'm following the only God is Akhenaten, and so similarly, the Moses also follows his footsteps, saying that there's only my God, nobody else, right? Mm.
Yes.
Mm.
So because of so
What is the name of the Moses God? The God of
Moses God
Moses
is
was.
Jehovah.
Hmm?
Yehovah. Yehovah.
Yehovah. Mm, Yehovah.
Yes.
Mm,
Moses God is Yehovah.
mm,
Now there is a thought process saying that there is a thought process saying that Moses is not a single person, but Moses
mm,
is a historic memory of multiple people who existed over a millennium or whatever.
mm,
Uh, because see, you notice people followers of Akhenaten, they were rejected out of Egypt. Number one,
mm,
there was a slave rebellion during the time of Ramses. I think
mm,
Ramses, not the famous Ramses, but
mm,
a minor Ramses.
mm,
There was a slave rebellion during that time.
mm,
There are multi and these what they say is the 10 plagues of Egypt.
mm,
Even that also seems to be some historic event. Like
mm,
there was a volcanic eruption in near somewhere near Italy
mm,
around 1600 BC or something.
mm,
Because of the volcanic ash, you will
mm,
volcanic ash, volcanic winter, sudden cooling down, a drought.
mm,
Because of all these
mm,
things, you see some of the plagues. Basically, what happened was that the river was unlivable. The river was unlivable. What happened when the river is unlivable? What happens? The frogs and everything come out of the water.
mm,
Frogs start dying because there are no frogs. The insect population multiplies because there is a locust invasion and on the other hand, because of your volcanic eruption, there is a drought. A
mm,
drought plus a river becoming unlivable.
mm,
You see that there is a locust invasion,
mm,
pestilence everywhere,
mm,
and slowly what happens is in any traditional family, what happens is firstborn child is the one who will be given the first meal,
mm,
and because of the poison granulates, the firstborn child is the first one to die.
mm,
This is what happened. And there was another thing, there was an algal bloom in uh, Nile during that period. I don't remember the exact period. Because of
mm,
what happens is it was a sort of red algae.
mm,
It started somewhere in South Sudan, and spread till the sea.
mm,
And what you see, Nile became red.
mm,
Nile was full of blood. Nile river was
mm,
full of blood. So
mm,
This is so there are multiple events spread across more than a millennium, which coalesced into Moses. This is another thought which was put forward. Like some people who rebelled against some people who rebelled and fled from Egypt. Some people who are rejected out of Egypt, and all these things. And in fact, there is one story. There is one another argument put forward saying that there is a king by name Ahmos, Ahmoc. He There was a foreign invasion of Egypt from the north. They ruled for around 50 years, some 50 years or something. And this Amos was the Egyptian ruler who rolled back the invasion.
Who rolled back?
Who rolled back the invasion? Amos is the king's name. Now there is an argument. There is an argument saying that this Amos is also a candidate for Moses, because see, ultimately what he did, he pushed back the people. But in this case, what happened is it was exactly opposite. He's the leader of the opposition party. He's the leader of the opposition party, but he ejected the people out. Those people need to be represented with a leader. And they reversed Amos' name and had it as Moses. This is one more argument which was put forward.
So these are all. So this is not from the Bible. So you're not quoting from Bible. You are quoting from the history.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, you are comparing the religious text, right, from the historical text. So yes, you're comparing, exactly. and then giving you are quoting that. Okay, continue.
Exactly. The reason why I'm telling this is how does all of this fit into whatever we may call Aztec religion or Aztec religion or Roman religion, all those things. How does it fit into all these things? That is a fundamental question here. So now, whatever the reason, however it happened, and one more thing. One more argument.
So the Aztecs were the Aztecs were living in the North American or the South American, yes. Right?
Yes.
So the Aztecs civilization happened in the South American, the geography, and then whereas the Roman civilization happened in the Europe.
Happened in Europe.
Europe. Yes. Okay.
That's what. There is a different path. There is a different way in the after Moses came. There is a different way in which the world history took. The world history was started. Now you have there is parallel to this. There is something called translatability of religions.
Transferability.
Translatability.
Oh, translatability of religions.
Of religions. It's something like, I'm a Hindu. Who is my god? Indra, Varuna. Okay. Now go to the what is it? Go to Roman religion. Go to Greek religion or Roman religion. Greek religion. Go to Greek religion. Who are the equivalents for Indra and Varuna? Who are the equivalents for Indra and Varuna? Jupiter and Poseidon.
Jupiter and
Zeus and Poseidon. Jupiter is Roman. Zeus and Poseidon.
Zeus and Poseidon.
Yes. Both of them are not identical. Indra is not identical to Zeus, and Varuna is not equivalent to Poseidon. But in case both the kingdoms, an Indian kingdom and a Greek kingdom, if they're fighting with each other, what is the middle point? No war is carried out till the end. At one point or other, you'll have to call off the war. And how will you invoke the peace terms? What is it which binds you to the peace terms? It is your God. At that point, they came. This is all evolution. Evolution of religion or evolution of civilization. At that point, what some people did was, if I'm writing a treaty in Sanskrit, I'll use Indra and Varuna. If I'm writing the same treaty in Greek, I'll write Zeus and Poseidon. Both are equivalent gods. They're not same, but both are equivalent gods. Because I'm taking an oath on Zeus, I'll not break it. I'm taking because I'm taking an oath on Indra, I'll not break it. This is how these parallel civilizations coexisted with each other. I may be
mm,
I may be using Indra and Zeus.
mm,
War did not happen between these kingdoms, but such things happened between Hittites and Egyptians. Mesopotamia, inside Mesopotamia, Mesopotamia with Hittites, Mesopotamia with
mm,
Egypt. All these things
mm,
happened.
mm,
So that is, see, in case a fight starts,
mm,
there is a middle path.
mm,
I can invoke my god and go back. You can invoke your god and you can go back. But
mm, mm,
this is where the Abrahamic religions created a problem.
mm,
What they said, your god is a false god.
mm,
How can you equate? How there are two things here. How can you equal? First of all, your god is a false. First of all, Zeus is a false god.
mm,
Second thing is, how can you call Zeus as an equal to my to Jehovah?
mm,
So where is the middle ground? You will have to
mm,
fight till then.
mm,
You'll have to fight till then.
mm,
This is one of the biggest things which these Abrahamic religions brought into the world history.
mm,
And then this is one side of the thing. Second, and why did I say I did not? I use the word Yahwism and not Judaism. The
mm,
reason is after Moses passed, after Moses, a few generations after that, people slowly relapsed to polytheism. They started
mm,
believing in, they started accepting all the other gods of all the religions around. Baal was the main god in that area.
mm,
Asher, Ishtar.
mm,
In some areas, his wife is called Asher. In some areas, his wife is called Ishtar.
mm,
They even associated Ishtar as Yahweh's wife.
mm,
Slowly this Judaic religion it transformed into something polytheistic. So
mm,
again, that's what I'm doing. These are all evolutionary traits.
mm,
When you find something, the Godhead is the same.
mm,
On the, if you pick if you pick Linga Purana, what he says, what Lord Shiva says in that is, I'm everything. He says that I'm everything.
mm,
But what you see from multiple, what you see is completely what you see and what you perceive need not be identical to what is there. But ultimately, everything comes from the single source.
mm,
Your way of experiencing me and what I am need not be identical.
mm,
This is the distinction which Linga Purana makes.
mm,
Now, so basically, how you are approaching the God is the thing. Moses
mm,
said that this is the only way you should follow him. Maybe people saw this is not enough. Maybe because of frequent wars. Maybe because what is that? What God promised them was not enough for them. Whatever the reason,
mm,
slowly you will see that Judaism also, sorry, this Yahwism also becoming a polytheistic religion.
mm,
And then what? And because Israel was a very small kingdom, and it was
mm,
in the frequent path of wars between Egypt and Mesopotamia, which is the current Iraq.
mm,
These Israeli people were generally either they joined this army or that army, and when they joined one army and the second army got strong, they were taken away as slaves.
mm,
One of the most major event which happened like that was during the reign of Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon.
mm,
What he did was he enslaved the whole of Israel and took them back to Babylon.
mm. To Bethlehem,
Babylon
Babylon. Babylon.
took them to Babylon.
Mm. So so
Uh,
far to just to summarize, right? So to not to
mhm.
last. So in Europe, the majority, the Aztec is from the South American, and they have
South
a
America
native
actually,
traditions,
yes,
right? And then whereas in the Roman civilization in the Roman side, then it started with the Egyptians. Then out of the Egyptians, then the person came, and then he's called Moses. Then he led the slaves to a place,
yes,
and then he said the God has promised us to do a land called Israel, and he's special, and then he's going to do that. So it's continued to have all kinds of the what do you call that, civilizational evolution has happened, right? Then
yeah,
there are a lot
yes,
of kings and going around and all. So that's what happened, right?
Yes.
Then eventually, then in this story so far, what happened then in the Babylonian king came, and then again he was. So then the Israelis and that means basically Jews and the Mesopotamians, they were fighting. And Mesopotamia means today's Iraq, right? So then the
Yes.
Israelis and Egyptians, they were not fighting.
No, that's what I'm telling. Sometimes
Mm,
Egyptians, this Babylon, this Israelis, they sided with
mm,
Babylon.
mm,
Sometimes they sided with Egypt. At
mm,
that particular point of time, what happened was they sided with Egypt, and they were
mm,
defeated.
mm.
And the Babylonian king came and took them as slaves back to Israel.
Okay, so
That's
they are
what happened.
continuously, so they came out of Egypt. They were the slaves in Egypt. They came out of that, and then they are continuously engaging war with either Egypt or
They were
Mesopotamian.
not engaging. They were not engaging. The
Mm,
problem, the problem for them was there was a powerful kingdom in the north of them. There was a powerful kingdom in the east of them. That's a powerful kingdom in the south of them.
So
Those
they
two
are in the
fought with
middle.
each other. Yes,
Mm,
they were trapped in the middle.
uh. So then they're continuously engaging war. So did they have the today's geography of Israel? So was it? Did it happen during the Moses time?
Approximately the same.
The same
Not
thing, yeah.
completely, but
But
approximately the same.
was it a sovereign the country
There were two sovereign countries.
for Jews?
One was Judea, and the second one it starts with S. Don't remember
Mm,
the name. Yes.
mm,
Uh, so this there at that point, what happened was, see, the reason why I'm saying Abrahamism is not a monotheistic religion as such
mm,
is
mm,
because when Nebuchadnezzar invaded Israel and occupied it,
mm,
some contingents, he cannot capture everyone. Some people fled in all directions. We know of
mm,
at least two major migrations out of Israel at the time. One went into Egypt, one came towards Kerala.
Kerala.
Yes,
Mm,
because see, it or two sides of the same ocean. It's the same trade network.
mm.
Peop- it's a part of the same global trade network. Some
Mm.
people fled into Kerala and they
So the
settled
trade
there.
route. So there are so in
Yes,
the global trade routes. So one went to so the Israel, and then the one, I mean, one went into the
Egypt,
Egyptians. So one into Israel, one went into the, okay, the net. Okay, when Nebu, what's his name? Uh,
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
And then he was the most. I mean, that is when they were the most richest people on the earth, right? The Babylonians at that moment. What
yes,
was that's
yes,
the time, right? During the
yes, yes.
Nebuchadnezzar's time is the one they were the richest people, and then he
Exactly,
couldn't be defeated, right?
exactly.
So then he went and he invaded who the Egyptians with the help of the Jews, Israelis.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Hmm,
Okay. So what happened to what happened to the contingent people who fled into Kerala is not known.
hmm,
But there is a historic record of what happened to the people in Egypt.
hmm,
They settled on as time went by, they settled on an island by name Elephantine.
hmm,
Uh, and there, some of their writings are recovered recently. Recently, this is some 20-25 years before, some of the writings are recovered.
hmm,
That clearly tells that these Jews, they followed every religion. They
hmm,
followed every god. In
hmm,
fact, not just the local gods, not just the local gods around Israel, but because they are in Egypt now, they started accepting Egyptian gods as well into their
hmm,
pantheon.
hmm,
As time went by, they died off. As time went by, they died off. There are two reasons. One,
hmm,
they died off. Second thing is there was another wave of Jews who came. There was a rebellion against Rome. Some
hmm,
500 years or 500 or 600 years after this, they
hmm,
also came. By the time they became monotheistic, I'll come to that in some time. And
hmm,
those people also came to the same area. So probably they dominated the old race. Something would have happened, and these people disappeared from history. That was the primary reason why I was telling that Judaism is not a monotheistic religion.
hmm,
Yahwism is not a monotheistic religion. So,
hmm,
what is this distinction between Yahwism and Judaism?
hmm.
Now, if you take the case of Hinduism.
So you are not speaking from the scripture, the Bible, the Old Testament and New Testament.
No,
You're not talking from Old Testament. You're
partly.
talking
No, no,
from the
no, partly.
historical. Yeah.
No, no, partly from Bible also.
Oh, you're talking from the
Because
Torah. Are you
in
talking from Torah?
yes,
The Old Testament. Yeah.
yes,
Mm. That
Yes,
means
partly from Torah also.
that's a Jews Bible. That's a Jews scripture.
Exactly.
Mm,
Read where you will find the references for all these things. Where you will find them in Torah is there are see you will notice that you will notice very frequently that uh, Yahweh will be warning people not to follow other gods. Temples are
mm,
destroyed. Temples are destroyed. These things are very common. Why is it happening every few generations? That means people are not believing it, right? If people are believing it outright, then why? What's the need for the God? What's the need for the God to send prophets one after another and then ask the people to follow him? That means people are not following it. This is where it comes from. And then the people who what we come to know regarding Torah is Torah was uh, codified in Babylon
mm.
by the people who are imprisoned by Nebuchadnezzar. The question then will be
Imprisoned by
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar. Okay.
Yeah, yes, Torah was codified when they were in exile in Babylon.
Babylon.
Now the question, yes. Now you compare both of them. What happened in Elephantine and what happened in Babylon?
Mm,
Elephantine people believed in multiple gods.
mm,
Babylonian Jews, they believed in a single God. This
mm,
is where you will see the distinction between both the where Judaism diverged, split into
mm,
two parts. Basically, what would have happened is the people who stayed there, the people who codified Bible
mm,
the people who codified the Bible, probably they represent a sort of hardcore theological sect inside Bible, which believed in complete
mm,
monotheism, which no person accepted it because probably it was not realistic enough, it was not practical enough, and because it was putting them on a war path with everyone. Okay, so these people, this is from the kingdom of Judea.
mm,
This is where the distinction comes. Judaism, Yahwehism. This is where the
mm,
distinction comes.
mm,
The one possible theory, one possible theory here is that these people are some sort the people who codified the Bible are some sort of that is they are a minor sect of Yahwehism who believed in who believed in strict monotheism, and then these people believed in strict monotheism and they codified their stuff. Everyone, the problem on the moment, what happened before Babylon, we don't have any written records. Ultimate,
mm,
George Bernard Shaw once said, victors write history. Now the
mm,
situation now the situation with Judaism is that Yahwehism is that only Judaism survives. No one else has got a record.
mm,
So what they said is what we believe, and they are the
mm,
only. And after Cyrus delivered them, and after Cyrus invaded Babylon and released them from the captivity and sent them back, you come to know that they are the only representatives. They are the only knowledge holders of Judaism as a religion.
mm.
This is where, and from that time onwards, you will see that it became a strict monotheism.
After they were released from the Babylon, and then now
Mhm.
they have a codified version of
Yes,
Jewish Bible, right?
yes,
And then
yes.
now they became the monotheistic, and then they have all those five books, right? Pentateuch,
Exactly.
what is it? Yeah.
Pentateuch or whatever they call, right?
Mm, 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 mm,
See, this is the thing. You think about it. The
mm,
whole of India, right? India writing, it's something like around 1500, around British entered India around 1600, 1650, right?
mm,
What sort of, if you start reading about British history, the Indian history, of based on if you start reconstructing Indian history based on what the Britishers wrote between 1500 and 1600 and 1650, what will you find? You will find nothing. There is
mm,
nothing useful.
mm,
The whole story will be a complete mess.
mm,
There is no complete information. Okay,
mm,
there is a warped perspective. That is not the mainstream view. The country thinks
mm,
something, the Britishers assumed something, and they wrote something else.
mm,
This is approximately the situation you will see with Judaism. Judaism represented a minor. You think about it.
mm,
In a whole kingdom, 10 people or 50 people sat and wrote a book. What is the guarantee that it is a consensus view? I have already shown you a case where it is not the consensus view. So, what is the possibility that what forget about what Moses said. Think about what people in Israel followed. What is the chance that what people in Israel followed and what is written in Torah, both of them are identical?
mm,
Elephant in Judaism tells that it's not identical.
mm,
So at least we have at least two different variants of this.
mm,
So again you will see that it's a sort of civilization bottleneck.
mm,
Everything you notice, everything
mm,
follows a clear
mm,
evolutionary pattern. You
mm,
hit a civil people. First you have multiple gods,
mm,
and then multiple tribes practice consider what is that praying to their own gods. Then you see a combination of these cults and the combination of these independent tribes and cults into a single religion, a
mm,
dominance of one god, and then you say that that one god is supreme. And people say that it's not realistic enough.
mm,
Every, let's go to our multiple god concept itself.
mm,
And then suddenly what happens is someone comes and invades.
mm,
Your whole life system is destroyed, and then
mm,
what happens is you are left with one single god.
mm,
You will see that you will see all of this in a clear evolutionary pattern.
mm,
Okay, this is what happened with Judaism. Now
mm,
fast forward a few hundred years.
mm,
Take the case of Christianity. Again,
mm,
this Christianity is a rebellion of Christianity is a sort of rebellion inside Judaism.
mm. Like the
What?
way Moses revolted against the Egyptians, right? See,
Yes,
the Moses
yes,
was a slave child, is a child of a slave, and who is
mm,
being put in the small boat, and then which reached the palace of the Egyptian kings, and then he was
mm,
raised as a prince. And then when he
mm,
realizes his reality, I mean the what do you call the identity, then he revolted and he took all the slaves to some place, promised land, and then he led them, and then now they are all followers of Moses, right? And that's
yes,
all happened. Then historically, then they went here, there, and what do you call that? They were fighting with the Egyptians as well as the Mesopotamians, and then the Babylonian side and all. Then they were all captured by
yes,
Babylonian. Then again they were released. Then they again now went back to Israel, right? So
yeah,
now then
yes,
during the Babylonian time, they all have the codified all the belief system, the first five books of the Torah, the Old Testament, right? For the Jews,
yes,
the Jews Bible, right? Then Judaism, then they have that Pentateuch, right? And
mm,
so they have those five books, and then that's all the thing. That's the only God, and you have to follow Jehovah. That is the Jews'
yes,
God is Jehovah. You have to follow that, and it became the one God kind of a thing, right? And that's how
yes.
it was going on. Then now you are entering the Christianity. Okay, continue. Mm.
Christianity.
Mm, mm, mm,
Christianity again is basically what happens is you have a codified book. You have a codified book, which people are saying that you should not modify it. The
mm, mm.
that is where Hinduism differs from other
So
religions.
that's it. So one more thing. Sorry to interrupt you. So then,
Mm,
so there was the system going on in the Egyptians, and then the Egyptian kings had the slaves and all. So out of one slave, then he revolted. That's Moses,
yes,
right? So that's what happened. Then again, and then when the Judaism is now formalized, now is in a systemic way going. Then another rebellion comes in the form of Jesus.
Jesus.
Then the
Yes,
followers of Jesus become Christianity. Then continue. Yeah. Mm.
yes. So, see, this is where Hinduism differs from other religions.
Mm.
You take the case of the concept of Shruti and Smriti.
Mm.
Shruti is eternal. That is your Vedas and all those things. They are eternal. Smriti is something. Smriti is something which is codified and it changes with time. Smriti
Mm.
is memory.
Mm.
Smriti means memory, right? Smriti
Mm.
changes with time. So
mm,
Manusmriti, for example, or Yajnavalkya Smriti, which are followed, they are the
mm,
rule books in a
mm,
civilization. They are the rule books which
mm,
reflected the contemporary mindset around 500
mm,
AD.
mm,
Manusmriti is not applicable for today's world.
mm,
Parts of it, the
mm,
the general guidelines of Manusmriti may be applicable, but the
mm,
punishments given out in Manusmriti or that is following the book to the dot in today's world is an impossible thing. That is
mm,
because society changes,
mm,
a human being changes,
mm,
your circumstances change. Along with the circumstances, the way you govern people also should change. This is
mm,
where Hinduism is different. This is where Hinduism is different from other religions. We
mm,
separated religion, and we separated religion from the way a person should live in a society. This
mm,
did not happen in the Abrahamic religions. This is one of
mm,
the major reasons for strife there. Youth, even take the case of Judaism, take the case of Islam. Wherever you see, the the scripture itself tells you how you should live.
mm,
It should change with time, right?
mm.
Because uh, Sri Ravi Shankar of Art of Living, Swami Ravi Shankar of Art of Living, what he says once,
Sri
see,
Ravi
just
Shankar for the art
yes,
of living, the Sri Ravi
yes.
Shankar.
Uh, what he said at some point he said, right? See, during the time of Chanakya, wearing a dhoti uh, and having a pigtail was a fashion. You cannot expect the same thing to be a fashion today, right?
Mm,
You cannot put the, in other words, what I'm trying to tell here is you cannot put no, a person should always wear a dhoti without a shirt and with yajñopavita and with the pigtail.
mm,
You cannot write that in your book of code. You
mm,
cannot write that in your the book of religion. Yes,
mm,
you can write it in the sort of uh, what is it, temporary rule book for as to how the society, how people should look in the society, but you cannot have
mm,
it permanently. Those things will
mm,
change with time. at the
mm,
time at the time a dhoti was a fashion. Today it's
mm,
not. you
mm,
you can you cannot force people to wear dhotis just because someone liked it, right? someone
mm,
someone wrote it 5,000 or 10,000 years before, right?
mm.
This is where Hinduism differs. A problem. And this is one of the major reasons for strife in Abrahamism. They
A major difference.
major reason for strife in Abrahamism.
Oh, strife in Abrahamism. Okay.
Yes, there are two problems, sir. One is
Mm,
uh, the what is it? One is the top-down imposition. Second is
mm,
what I said was mosaic distinction. A
mm,
top-down imposition means basically whatever your religious elders tell, that is the ultimate truth. You cannot challenge
mm,
it. You cannot question it.
mm,
First thing. Second problem is some rules are outdated because of these
mm,
things. Because,
mm,
because of these sort of things, some rules are outdated.
mm,
There will be a level of some people try to reform.
mm,
There was it's not that completely it is completely outdated. Some
mm,
people try to reform. There were changes made, but ultimately what you see is there is a corpus of it
mm,
which people refuse to modify, or which certain sections of society refuse to modify. Because of that,
mm,
you are seeing this level of rebellions. Islam is the same
mm,
story. Islam. I'll come to that slightly later.
mm,
Christianity is the same story. Islam is approximately the same story, and
mm,
all these things.
mm,
That's how you see the start of Christianity. And
mm,
at the earliest days of Christianity, what you will see, it did not have much
mm,
much following. In many people criticized it. Like
mm,
there was a Roman philosopher by name Celsus.
mm.
The Christians hated him that much. The Christians hated him to that level that every book of his is destroyed.
Every book of.
Not every book of his is destroyed. Not even a single copy of his book anywhere in the world exists. Every single
Mm,
copy is destroyed. The
mm,
only information we have regarding Celsus is from uh, a counter written to Celsus by a Christian. That is the
mm,
only area where you see. One of the comments he makes is, "What sort of a God is that? Who said the?" At one point, he says that. So basically, you are saying that. Uh, no. The instruction. So basically, Yahweh says that. So Celsus asked Yahweh. So basically, you are saying that the instruction, you are saying that you sent another person with the instruction saying that no, whatever I sent through Moses is not correct. I'm sending you a new person with a new set of instructions. You need to follow the new ones and not the old ones. Is that what your God is saying? Is what Celsius
Ask Jesus or ask Moses?
ask Christians.
Christians.
Yes. What he says is, God says, sorry, what you sent through Moses is wrong. I'm sending you what I sent.
The updated version. What I sent to that was now replacing with a new version.
This is the updated version. So as a general rule, see, it was the religion was good. First thing is the religion was good. Second thing is it did not have acceptance of the higher.
First thing is the religion was crude, and then the second one is
it did not have acceptance from the higher echelons of the society. Crude in the sense, see, you are not ready to accept anyone. You are not ready to accept anyone's God. If someone says, let's both of them sit and talk together, you say, no, you are not, you don't believe in my God. Let's say if I talk, let's say if there is a discussion coming, over if there is a discussion coming over Jupiter or some other gods, you say that it is offensive to you, and you suddenly leave in the middle of the hall. These are the sort of things. Who will tolerate these sort of things? All these things happen, and slowly what you will see, Roman civilization is also a sort of a polytheistic religion, polytheistic setup. They accepted new gods. Maybe they gave them the new names or whatever, but they accepted the religion. They accepted the religious ideas of other people, religious ideas of the conquered people. It need not be that they accepted their gods as their own gods, but they allowed them to practice their own religions, be it even Persian, Zoroastrian gods and Zoroastrian religion, all these things. And there were new religious movements which emerged in Persia and came to Rome. The new religious movements which emerged inside Rome itself, like I think this or the prophet Manichaeism or something is what they call it. Originated in Persia and came to Rome. There are some local this cult of Saturn or cult of even Christianity that also emerged inside Rome, right? As time went by, and in the earlier day, as time went by, this religion, it started gaining strength. Gaining strength in the sense that it represents, in one sense, Christianity represented a sort of rebellion against Rome. Because see, Rome God, if you want to oppose the God, if someone tries to oppose the religion, oppose the government, what will you do? You'll do everything which is not supported by the government, right? Or which opposes the stand of the government. You go and attack a temple. You go and attack a Roman temple. For example, you go and attack a Roman temple. What is that? You publicly decry what the Romans are doing. Go and criticize them in public, saying that is this what you pray to? These sort of all these things happen. There were purges. There were purges. There was Romans tried to control them. At one point, Romans understood that these people are in search for martyrs. That is how you build your religion. These many people died for their faith. So there should be something in the religion. People were slowly following that pattern. When the Romans understood that, they stopped giving martyrs to Christianity. Whatever you do, we will not kill you. Do whatever you want. At one point, it went to that stage. Another great example is Valentine. We say he's projected as he's projected as a saint of love, whatever they say. But the ground reality is completely different. Valentine was a doctor. Hippocrates oath tells that father, patient is important for you. But Valentine said that my religion is more important to me than anything else. Only if you convert to Christianity, I'll treat you. That is what Valentine said. Even his mother died because she refused to convert. He did not give her
mm,
he did not give her treatment.
mm,
That is the background of Valentine. See,
mm,
slowly this movement started gaining up, and then
mm,
when and why it became a state religion.
mm,
Christians tell that it became the state religion during the reign of Constantine.
mm,
Christians tell that this Constantine converted during a civil war. He saw the cross in the sky along with the words "Inri" in, and "Inri" is what is written on Jewish on the cross on which Jesus Christ is crucified. Uh,
was
because he saw the
crucified. Mm,
yes,
mm,
Inri
mm,
I think it means victory or something.
mm,
He saw the words in the sky in flaming fire,
mm,
looking, and he won the war immediately. Because of that, he saying using that as a divine sign, he converted to Christianity, is what Christian records say. But
mm,
what do the Roman accounts say? Roman accounts tell that he murdered his wife.
mm,
Actually, Constantine murdered his wife.
mm,
He boiled her in a bath. He boiled her in a bathtub.
mm,
Okay, and he asked the Roman priest to absolve him of his crime, absolve him of the crime. The
mm,
priest, it was more intolerable even for them. They said they rejected it. A Christian by name Egyptus, a
mm,
Christian by name Egyptus approached him, and he said that I'll absolve you under the condition that you convert to Christianity. That is where
mm,
Christianity started.
mm,
Okay, Christians project that it's a divine intervention. Non-Christians project that it's just personal selfishness,
mm,
nothing more
mm,
than that.
mm, mm,
This event happened around 350 AD or something, and within
mm,
100 years you will see that Christianity dominating Roman religion completely.
mm. The Roman civilization, I mean the
Roman
Roman Empire.
civilization.
Roman
Yes,
Empire. Mm,
yes.
mm, mm.
They
So because the Constantinople has adopted the Christianity,
Constantine is his name. Constantinople. He built his capital city at Constantinople.
so Constantine, so the Emperor Constantine has adopted or embraced Christianity, and because he was the emperor, so he imposed the state religion as Christianity, and then he converted
Exactly.
everybody by force because he's a king. So he made this Christianity as the state religion, and then
Exactly.
he imposed it. So naturally, people over a period of time, and like over a few generations, one or two generations, because the
Yes.
old people might have registered the first generation, second generation
Yeah.
may have generation.
Yes.
By the time third generation, they may not have stories, right? They only would have heard stories from grandma and grandpa. And by the
Yes.
time the fourth generation comes, there's nothing to be talked about because whatever the officially told in the schools and then the official
Exactly.
things, and that's all that happened.
Exactly.
And then they
Exactly.
started managing the show.
Yes.
Mm,
Around 350, this show started.
mm,
Constantine and his son were hardcore supporters of Christianity. After
mm,
that, there was a level of rebellion,
mm,
and I think there was one major king by name Julian. I don't know whether
mm,
he's the only one who resisted Christianity. He died in either he died in a battle. Some say he was assassinated. This Julian was the last non-Christian king. After that, it was a slow creep. People were see Rome is not a small kingdom. First thing, and second
mm,
thing is all these people all these kings you are seeing, they are all military warlords.
mm,
They did not inherit the throne from their fathers. They they got it through they snatched it through the force of their arms.
mm,
Time. So you will see that you that is you cannot impose it that much unless there is a very strong king. You cannot impose a religion that much. Theodosius was the first strong Christian king who tried to enforce the writ on the whole kingdom. So
mm,
from the time onwards, you will see from the time onwards you will see that Christianity gaining strength at the expense of Roman religion.
mm,
uh, a reason why I say you equate yourself with Rome and not with Judaism.
mm.
The one major reason here is Judaism never had a country per se.
You mean Judaism, Jews?
Yes,
Mm,
yes,
mm,
Judaism, Jews.
mm,
It was not a country. It never had a country per se. All it
mm,
had was a small estate in the middle of some major kingdoms. It did not
mm,
have any. It did not have a capability for enforcing its sovereignty.
mm,
Okay, but if you look at Roman
mm,
civilization is almost identical to Indian civilization from the theological perspective.
mm,
They had many gods. We have many gods. They what is it? They are open enough to accept new ideas. We are open enough to accept new ideas.
mm.
And more importantly, Roman religion is a sovereign religion like Hinduism. Okay, and what happened? And you will see the same way Roman
So the before
civilization.
the Christianity, I mean that is their native religion, right? It's
Yes,
their
yes,
native religion. It came
yes,
on its own in the naturally it came
exactly,
about. Mm, mm, mm.
exactly. So you will see. So at this point, you will see that Roman. So
So
you will see
you are
that
saying the sovereign religion. Did you mean the sovereign religion means
sovereign
the
religion.
natural, yeah, the
I
natural?
won't sovereign religion in the sense that I'm not talking about the state religion, but
Mm.
I'm talking from the sense that it was a religion with it was a or rather than calling it a sovereign religion, call it a
It's
civilization religion.
native tradition, native religions.
Yes,
Mm.
the religion of a
Mm.
civilization. Jo, I
Yeah,
can't, you,
the religion,
you,
original civil, native, the religion of the
yeah,
civilization
yes,
before they adopted the Christianity.
yes.
Mm.
So you will see that Roman religion is corrupted from inside
Roman religion
because
is
corrupted from inside. See,
corrupted from inside. Mm, mm,
because people
mm,
were following one religion and the
mm,
state was supporting subversion.
mm,
Main temples were being destroyed. Example, 392 AD, Alexandria's main temple. In 392 AD, Alexandria's main temple was destroyed.
mm,
The what they say, they call it the destruction of Serapeum.
mm,
If you compare you compare the contemporary you compare the contemporary Christian accounts over the destruction of Serapeum with Mahmud of Ghazna's destruction of Somnath, all they will
mm,
be almost identical.
mm.
And there is one more aspect. And there is one more aspect.
Yeah.
Why I compare Indian religion with these religions? There is no
Mm,
sympathy.
mm,
Destroyed. Your stuff is destroyed. You are the
mm,
culprit because you are
mm,
following a wrong god.
mm,
It's not that I illegally went and destroyed your religious stuff.
mm, mm,
It's
mm,
your fault. It's your fault that you are following a wrong religion. So your stuff is destroyed.
mm.
Look
So
at
that
it.
means you are a girl, and then because of that, so I come and rape you. But then
It's your
because
fault,
you don't, yeah,
obviously.
because you don't have a legitimacy, you don't have a husband, legitimate husband, or you didn't marry. So then I'll come and rape you. Then it's all your fault because
Yes,
you
family
didn't get
honor, right?
married, right? Huh, you
Uh,
didn't get married. So then
family
since you
honor,
didn't get
right?
married, so then it's your fault. You're supposed to get married. So then since you didn't get this, I'll rape you. And then now that and it's it is that is your fault that you didn't get married. That's then so you blame the victim, right?
Exactly.
Uh,
Obviously, it's a matter of family honor, right?
mm,
You insulted the family.
mm,
You don't have a right to live.
mm,
Doesn't this happen?
mm,
This happens, right?
mm,
Whatever you said also
mm,
happens, right? Even
mm,
in
mm,
contemporary world, it happens.
mm. So you blame the victim, and for your then you blame the victim, and then you perpetrate the crimes,
Yes,
right? Mm, mm.
yes.
You
Isn't
perpetrate
that
the crimes by blaming the victim,
exactly?
and then
Uh,
the aggressor is actually right, and the victim is wrong.
exactly.
Mm,
That is what you are saying. That is what you are saying in India today, right?
mm, mm,
Even in India today, where is the support? Where is the support to Hinduism?
mm,
Yeah, a temple is destroyed. We won't talk about it. A mosque is
mm,
a mosque or a church gets damaged. I won't say even destroyed. A mosque or a church gets damaged. The whole world falls upon India, saying that there is religious intolerance.
mm, mm,
Just 2 days ago, some Christian fellow was seen dropping stuff into dropping used condoms into the, temple hundis in Karnataka.
mm,
Or do we hear? Did we hear of that news? Censored out.
mm, 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 mm,
And then just before Delhi elections in 2014, or I think it was in 2014 or 2016, somewhere in that period, just before Delhi elections, some miscreants threw some stones at a church, and they said that the whole Christianity is in danger in Delhi, in India. That was a narrative. That was a narrative which was spread, right? Someone throws a stone at a church. Someone throws a stone at a time. Stone at a building. It gets more coverage than the whole a wanton desecration of a Hindu temple. This is how the narrative today is, right? Where is the state support? This is what this is a major. This is one of the main reasons why I want to equate Indian religion with Rome, Indian religion with Rome, and not with Judaism, because Judaism never had never had the capability to enforce its sovereign right. When I say sovereign right,
so that means there is no states. I mean, there was no it was not an official religion of the native people, right? The native religions were not there, and then it was never enforced or never
no,
lived.
I won't say in that sense. I'll say it in the sense that Muslims attacked India. That take the case of Aurangzeb. After centuries of Muslim rule, he reimposed jizya on India. What happened? Within 20 years, his kingdom was destroyed by Hindus. That is the thing. Were Jews capable of doing that? They were not capable. Were Romans capable of doing that? They were capable of doing that. They tried that. They tried that also. That's the reason I took the name of Julian. They tried that also. Rome. That is a fundamental difference here. Judaism didn't have the capability to enforce its writ. That's the reason why I use the word sovereign writ at that point. Judaism didn't have the right to enforce, the capability to enforce its writ.
Okay, so that means that there was no country who can, the protect it or the enforce it, or they couldn't defend in a sovereign way. They couldn't defend in a sovereign country, as a sovereign country.
Exactly. That is where
in India there is a sovereign country, you defend it, and also same as a sovereign country in the Roman the Rome. The Roman Empire, so they were able to defend, and then when the guys stepped, and then also the opposition came, and things like that happened. But there was a legitimate government. I mean, there was a sovereign government, which not say legitimate, but there's a sovereign government which is protected or the defended one way or the other.
Yes. So you will see that's what Rome also fought for around 100. Rome also fought for around 150 to 100 years before it collapsed ultimately to Christianity. Okay, that was a sort of corruption from inside. India had historically, if you see, India is not politically united. Civilizationally, it's a single country. India is probably the only geography in the world where the words nation and the country are different. Nation is a civilizational entity.
Country is a geography.
Political entity.
Political entity.
Because India was not politically united, there was always someone or other who was ready to rebel. Even if you take the case of Muslims, what happened? First they conquered Kabul Shahis. They took almost 350 years.
Who was it?
Kabul Shahis, the Shahis of Kabul.
The Hindus of Kabul. Kabul Shahis.
Yes. They stopped Islam for almost 350 years. On from Afghanistan coming into India, that road was permanently blocked from Muslims for almost 350 years. And on the other side, Sindh was taken. After Sindh, they were not able to enter into India proper. Pratihara, there Kabul Jahi stopped it. Here Pratihara stopped it. After these two,
Pratihara
stopped. After fighting for 350 years, they were able to enter India. That is what Islam was founded around 635 AD or something. But and it reached India's borders by 650. And then it entered Delhi. It entered India proper by 1000 AD.
So it took 400, almost 300, 400 years.
350. It took 350 years. You cannot.
You cannot tell that they are not interested in India, right? When they are conquering the whole world, you can't put an argument that they are not interested in the richest country in the world. That means people stop them, and by the time they reached Delhi, they were facing the next line. They were facing the next line in what is it? They were facing the next line in what is it? Paramara in Madhya Pradesh, and that is Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh area. They were facing the next line. Orissa, Bengal, this Chhattisgarh area, Paramaras, Chandelas, Kalinga Empire, Palas there, and Gujarat Chalukyas. And once this line is destroyed, the next line was there.
So you mean the line?
Yes, a line of kingdoms. Basically, what I'm saying is, you need to conquer every individual kingdom. It's not like you conquer one kingdom, the whole country is yours. You need to fight for every inch of land. This is what happened. And by the time they reached Tamil Nadu, the region around Andhra, Tamil Nadu, they lost their life force. Their whole energy was expended. And then you see a rollback from Vijayanagara. Vijayanagara stopped them for another 150. Vijayanagara stopped them for another 150 to 100 years. Again they started conquering everything from the start again. They came back. This time Maratha stopped. This advantage, Rome did not have this advantage. It was a single political entity. So if you say it's something like, if you say if you pass a rule in Rome, that rule should be followed in Jerusalem or in Britain. In India, it's not the case. If you pass a rule in Delhi, if I say I don't like your rule, I'll go down to Madurai. I'll go down to what is that? I'll go down to Vijayanagara. I'll go down to Kalyan. I'll go down to Cuttack.
So there is a one nation across the country, across the geography. So there's a political entry is there. I mean, a political entity, and then there is a huge nation entity. So the nation entity has the same culture, same religion, and same thought.
And it protected the religion. And it protected
the religion, right? So no matter who it was, and they protect, the people protected, and the kings protected and all. So, but when somebody has to come and attack, and they have to go and individually conquer each country, right? So that was it was difficult. It's actually strategically it was a good thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
From hindsight, it was a very good thing. So ultimately, what happened was Rome. Now, after India became independent, Hindus lost this opportunity. Till that time, it was there. But till 1947, it was there. After 1947, it is a single country, single Hindu code of law. So you pass a rule in Delhi, it should be implemented in Madurai. It should be implemented in Guwahati. It's not it was never the case in the whole of Indian history of the 5,000 or 6,000 years. At this point, so from one aspect, we are at a situation when Roman civilization was Roman civilization, which is fighting the fight between Christians and traditional Romanists led by Julian. We are in that situation today. So there is a sort of state support. State will not help. There are two aspects of it. One is, what is the state saying? Second thing is the state capable of enforcing its right? A third thing is, what are the governors doing? Because the king may say, the king sitting in Rome may say, no, you should not follow. You should not follow all these things. But the governor says, who the hell are you to say? I'm a Christian, I'll follow all these things. Who the hell are you to say? Okay, this is these sort of things also happen. Now, compare with India. Center is it first question is, how capable is center? Because see, you cannot expect a single government to micromanage a country of the size of India. India has got a population of 1/6 of the world. It has got an area. It has got an area of around 1/7 of the world. You cannot enforce India. You cannot enforce the world state on it. You cannot a person cannot control India. Sitting at a single location, he cannot manage India. India is too big for that. Too big to convert even. So central government, is it capable? I won't say central government, whether central government is interested or not. What I'll say here is central government is whether central government has got the capability to run it. It never had. It never had. It will never have.
Mm.
See, you cannot if there is a pickpocket happening in some remote village in Andhra Pradesh, why do you cannot blame your prime minister, right? There is a home
Mm.
ministry. What the hell is home ministry doing? You cannot blame them. You cannot blame them if there is a pickpocket happening in some remote village. In the
Mm.
same way, you cannot blame the prime minister if a temple is destroyed in some village. Maximum what the government can do is it can take a action of redressal. It can go
Mm.
and punish the people, as
Mm.
what happened in Karnataka.
Mm.
It can go and punish a person, but
Mm.
that's the maximum government can do. You can't expect anything. The government to do anything more than that, right?
Mm.
And then the next phase will be what happens if the local authorities support these aggressors. That is also
Mm.
happening in some areas. That is also happening in some areas. Example, go to Meghalaya, go to Meghalaya, go to Nagaland, go to parts of Tamil Nadu. That is also happening.
Mm.
This is secondary thing. So basically, what I'm trying to convey here is India and Rome are almost identical in the sense that there is not one. Both of them have got the sovereign right to enforce their viewpoint on the world, not just
Mm.
their country, on the whole world, both
Mm.
from the theological perspective and both from the theological perspective and from the secular perspective. Second thing
Mm.
is corruption is happening from inside.
Mm.
Third thing is there is no sympathy
Mm.
there is no sympathy for the victim.
Mm.
There is sympathy for the aggressor. There is sympathy for the aggressor, but there is no sympathy for the victim.
Mm.
Okay, this is one aspect of it. And
Mm.
the second aspect of it is now if you look at the world history, there are three different from India from the way Hinduism is losing ground in India, or from the way Hinduism lost ground in India over the past few centuries, you will notice that there are three different trends. One is this Roman style,
Mm.
where you are seeing uh, a level of internal corruption,
Mm.
and the second thing is that you take the case of for example, take the case of
Mm.
Aztecs or Incas or even the Scandinavian religions.
Mm.
Not Scandinavian, mainly American religions and
Mm.
Australian tribal
Mm.
groups.
Mm.
What happened there? Take the case of when the Spaniards invaded Americas, there were two major kingdoms. Uh, Aztec Empire was there in Mesoamerica, in Latin America. Its capital city was in the current Mexico City.
Mm.
Tenochtitlan is what they say. The name of the city is Tenochtitlan, and
Mm.
it is larger than every city in Europe, every city in contemporary Europe except Paris, Venice, and Constantinople. You can't
Mm.
call Constantinople as a part of Europe. Also, Ottoman Empire. It was civilizationally completely distinct. So
Mm.
basically, this Tenochtitlan of the Aztecs was larger than every city in Europe except Venice and Paris.
Mm.
On the other, this is in the north, and in the south you have Inca Empire. Both of them had their own religion. Both of them had their own religions. Both of them had
Mm.
their own gods, and they had their own way of life.
Mm.
When the Spaniards came, what happened? When the Spaniards came, what they did was they violently enforced their religion. They violently conquered they conquered the kingdom and violently converted the people. Anyone who refused to convert was put to the sword.
Mm.
Just a minute, please.
Okay.
I didn't notice that I'm on battery here. Uh, these mainly, let's forget about the smaller ones, smaller entities. Look at these two big two kingdoms itself.
Mm.
Uh, they Inca Empire is even today. Inca Empire is considered to be one of the largest kingdoms in the world.
Incomparable. Which one?
Incas.
Inca.
INCA. Inca Empire is one of the, even today it is considered one of the largest empires of the world. These are not small entities. They had their own sophisticated social religious structure. They had their own sophisticated way of life. Everything was there. It is not because when you're running and when you're capable of running that big a kingdom, whether it is Aztecs or Incas or Rome or whatever, you need to have some level of social sophistication, right? You need to have some level of social sophistication. You need to have, whether it is codified or not. You need to have a rule. You need to have a rule book to guide you. All this, you need to have an a tired administration. You cannot control, sitting at a single place. You cannot control everything. But when the Spaniards entered Americas, what we see is these two kingdoms are violently conquered. These two, the native religion is violently the native religion is violently subjugated. People are forcibly converted. If you don't convert, the only option for you is sword. Either you die or convert. This was the option presented to them. So was the religion good? Was Aztec religion good, or was it updated with the current sensibilities of the society? Those things are all secondary. So there are some people, they had a way of life, they were doing something, and then suddenly you come out of somewhere and say that no, this is not what we want. This is not what we want. This is how you should be. People resist. You kill everyone who opposes you, and those who survive, you forcibly convert. This is what happened. This is what happened with Incas and Aztecs. Now come to India. What are the parallels you will see? Conquest of Pakistan, especially the other parts of the land between the land on the west of Indus. From Kabul Jahis resisted Islam for almost 350. They resisted Islam for almost 350 years. But the collapse, but the strain they took in trying to. Yes, sir.
Is it Kabul Shahis that you are saying?
Yes.
Shahi.
Yes.
Shahi. Okay. That's Kabul kings.
Yes, Kabul Shahi.
Traditionally,
yes, Kabul kings.
Yeah.
Yes. Some people say that they are Hindu. Some people say that they are Buddhist.
Okay.
But that's what Muslim historians say. The Muslim historians say that they are Buddhists. There are some inscriptions of them, and the Hindu historians, especially Kalhana of Kerala, of Kashmir, they tell that they are Hindu. They are Kshatriyas.
Okay, and they are like descendants of the Indo-Greek civilization, or no? They are not part of that Indo-Greek.
There is no clarity on that.
Okay, got it.
Ultimately, what happened was, whatever are the origins of Kabul Shahis, they started as governors of Huns. They rebelled against the Huns, and they took charge. Okay. And the founder of Kabul Shahi Empire, his name is Bahra Tegin. Tegin tells that he is a Turk, first thing. And second thing is, this Bahra Tegin seems to be he was the governor of Gandhara. Gandhara is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Gandhara is
Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. That is Pakistan's part of. Yes, Gandhara is Peshawar area. Gandhar is Peshawar area. He seems to be the governor of. He seems to be the governor of Peshawar area. So whatever his origins, ultimately the story is that he is from India proper, right? Wherever he came from.
So he's some Hindu religion, whether Buddhist or whether.
Not sure. Yes, some people say that he is Buddhist. Some people say that he is a Hindu. That is, see, there was nothing like a proper religion in that period. Everything is a cult. Everything is a fused cult. Example, Lakulisha started in that period. Lakulisha was born in Peshawar in that period itself. He is considered to be the main progenitor of these Nath Panthis, right? So it was more of a clash of theology than anything else.
Mm.
Sorry, please continue.
So no. So these as what I was telling. Now coming back to India.
So
It is,
I want you to only one thing, because we Hindus are redefining ourselves. So we wanted to use, instead of saying cult, I would want to I want to encourage, or I want us to use a word, the tribal, the tribe or the group, or the cultural, because the cult has a negative meaning in the current today, right? If in the olden days,
Yes.
probably it is fine, but today, if you use a cult, it is used, it's got a negative meaning. It is not respected, it's not well respected. But if you say a tribe, which is respected, right, or a group
Yes.
of people,
The
right?
the
So I
problem
would
that
I would encourage that to, like, we
Yes.
are redefining, because so far we have been defined by somebody else. Why would I want to accept some neighbor calling me?
that's the reason
Right?
why. That's the reason why, if you notice, right, all the while you will see that I'm making a distinction between religion and cult. Religion
Correct.
is something which is religion is something which is sophisticated. It is something sophisticated. Cult is something which is not that advanced enough. I can call Judaism. I can today whatever you may call it, but Judaism was a cult.
So, but then the Ganatmaya is saying tribe is not respected in North America. So then we will call it the native traditions of that society, or native traditions of that nation.
For it is called Panth.
Yes, Panth is the correct word there.
Panth. So then let's use our word and then define it to the world.
That's what I was thinking about.
Let's use our word Panth, right?
Yeah,
and then teach them the world, like how they have adopted Pandit and Guru and Karma, and right. So let's teach them, because it cannot be translated. Not everything. Remember, not everything cannot be. There are some concepts don't even exist even today in the Abrahamic philosophies or Western philosophy, right? So whereas in Hindu philosophy has a much more deeper, wider, and then more matured in terms of thought, right? But the way the Europeans have relegated us to the before the Stone Age or Dark Age, right? They call us still we are in Dark Age, right? But even though these people are still haven't caught up, we are much more.
I'll tell you the concept of this Dark Age, right? Darkness is because this darkness is because you haven't converted to, you haven't seen the light. Okay, the light is light of the Abrahamic God. That is the light, because you haven't seen, you are still in a dark age. That is their viewpoint.
No, because it came from the first few I don't know, the chapters of the Genesis, right? In the Old Testament, the first few chapters, right, of the Genesis, right? First few chapters of Genesis, he calls that seeing the good from evil is prohibited, right? And you have to blindly believe the Yehovah, the Bible God, the Yehovah, because the moment you started seeing, right, because you disobeyed God's word, the girl, and I mean the snake inspired the girl to eat, right, the woman to eat the fruit, and then the woman also ate, and then she opened her eyes, and then she encouraged the man to eat. The man ate, and then now they went from the darkness to the light, right? I mean, they went from the the good and good from evil, right? So now they know what is good and what is evil. They know the difference between that, right? And then now they have been punished by the Bible God Yehovah. The human, their parampara. In my opinion, I mean, in Hindu way of saying is parampara, right? The woman is been punished with the pain of childbirth forever, and then the man is being punished with I think the labor, right? The physical labor, right? So Jnanatmaya, is that the right understanding of the Abrahamic religions? Is that the thought started there? What? The first one, right? The woman got inspired by the snake, the serpent, to eat the fruit, right? The forbidden fruit, right? And then now that she's eaten, now she until then she couldn't see. But now that she ate the fruit, right? And then she could see. And then now she inspired the man, the first man, which is created by the Yehovah, the Bible God. And then he also ate. And then the Bible God got so mad that you man and the woman, and then even the serpent, right? He what he called it? He cursed them. with that you cannot have the light, or you have to live in the darkness, and blindly believe me. Since you guys didn't blindly believe me, I'm going to eternally punish you or curse you to with these things, right? Yeah, continue, Balakrishna. Yeah. Yeah.
So you will notice that within and that's what these Kabul Shahis, they resisted Islam for what, almost 250-300 years, but you will see that the collapse was completely sudden. In a gap of 30, sudden in the sense, in a gap of 30 years, the Kabul Shahi civilization was destroyed. The whole kingdom was conquered by Muslims just in a gap of 30 years. This is what you will see. And the core areas of Kabul Shahi Empire, which were conquered in that 30 years, which extended between Kabul and Indus River, you will see that the territory is completely converted to Christianity. Sorry, Islam. The territory is completely converted to Islam. Compare that with the Aztec religion. And there was some recently there was a Twitter spat I had with some fellow. He is arguing that Dahir was a king of Sindh who was conquered by who was defeated, and his kingdom was conquered by the Muslims. He was saying that Dahir was a Pakistani, a Sindhi. He was saying that Dahir was a despot. He tortured his people because of that the people invited Qasim. Because of that the people invited Qasim bin Qasim from the Arab Caliphates. He killed Dahir. We are proud of that fact, is what he says. I asked him the same thing. So basically, what we are saying is, if America comes and says that Imran Khan is bad and it topples it, you will support America. That's what I asked. He didn't have an answer. He didn't have an answer for that. So see, this is the mindset. People are taught to people in the core areas of Aztec and Inca empires are taught to accept the fact that those civilizations are barbarian, and the Spaniards came and civilized them. Okay, what is the ground reality? Aztec capital city is larger than every city in Europe. You are talking about Spaniards, right? Mattered in it was in Portugal. It is in Brazil. It's Portugal. Everywhere else, it is Spain. Is there any city in what is it? Spain and Portugal, which is larger than the Aztec capital city of Tenochtitlan? It didn't exist. Then how can you civilize someone? And then you are saying that they are far more advanced and far more civilized. What is it? But people are forced to accept the fact. Compare what is happening in Pakistan. Compare what is happening in Pakistan, and compare what happened in the Aztec Empire. Ditto. There is no difference at all. You violently conquer a kingdom. You violently impose your religion on them. Anyone who opposes them, you kill them. And ultimately, through violence you achieve a near 100% conversion of the people. And then and then teach to people saying that we are proud. We were saved by these people. This happened in Pakistan area. Come to Kerala. Kerala had there is something called Kunan Cross Oath. Basically, the story goes.
Kerala, what happened? What is that?
There is something called Kunan Cross Oath.
Kunan Cross.
Kunan Cross Oath. Basically, what happened was Syria Christianity is as old as Roman Christianity. Christianity in Kerala dates around 300 AD. There is a remnant of a Christian. There is a remnant of a Christian community there. There is a sort of Christian community there, and almost 1500 years of staying amidst the Hindus. They almost 1000 to 1500 years amidst staying among the Hindus. What happened was they were almost Indianized, except for their gods. They're as good as any other Hindus. They follow a different.
So culturally they are Hindu, but religiously they are Christian. Can I say that?
No, everywhere they are Hindus, except that they follow a different Hindu god by name Jesus.
Okay, so they're just basically living Hinduism. They are basically a Hindu, but just use a different god called Jesus.
By name Jesus. Yes.
Jesus, according to the Bible, Jesus is not God, but it is their prophet or their Messiah. According to the Bible, Jesus is not a God, right? Son of God.
Yes, or call it Yahweh itself.
Yeah. Yes, Gauripata wanted to say something. Go ahead.
No, I just had one point of this is in the northern Kerala you're talking about.
Northern Kerala, yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
And it's called Pannu. What is it? Pannu Christians, huh?
Syriac is what I know. I don't know.
Syria, okay. Syrian Christians came 1500 years ago.
Yes. But when this Portuguese came, and they saw a native tradition of Christianity, which is completely different from the version of Christianity they practiced. They violently tried to impose their version of Christianity, which is Roman Catholicism, on the local Christians.
But so do they have the original Syrian Christians? Are they still there in India? They have already uniform. They are the today's Christians. They have unified. What do you call that? Did they unify them and then converted them to their way of
No. They are still
the original, the form, exactly the way it is. They're still there, and they don't convert. They don't do that kind of things.
No, they won't.
Okay.
In fact, Syrians are Syria Christians in India, in Kerala, are the only ones who still use the script which was used in Jesus Christ's time.
Oh, okay. They still use that old Bible because that's preserved and it has never been touched. And which is different from the worldwide thingy.
In fact, Malayalam has got an Aramic script also. Aramic is a script. Malayalam also has got an Aramic variant. These Christian variant. So ultimately,
and they're all before the Nicene Creed, right? Their Bible is before the Nicene.
Yes.
Okay.
But are they now subscribed? Do they subscribe to the Nicene Creed? The Syrian Christians of India today?
No.
They don't subscribe to Nicene Creed.
No.
Okay. Continue.
So when Portuguese came to India, they found a native variant of Christianity, which is completely different from from the version they are having, and they tried to violently impose their form of Christianity on these people. These people said, "We are also Christians. You are also Christians. What's the problem? We are following our own tradition. We are following our own rules. You are following your own rules. We can coexist." Those people were not happy. What they said, and they tried to violently impose. Violently is the word. They tried to violently impose their form of Christianity on these native Christians of India. It went to the Pope. It blew up. It blew up to the extent that it involved Vatican City, and the Pope sent a person to investigate these Christians. They murdered that person, and in retaliation, the Syria Christians, they took an oath in a place by name Punan, saying that we will not follow the tradition of we will not follow the Roman Catholic tradition, and they were violently suppressed because of that. That is what you call as Punan cross oath.
Punan,
So basically,
Punan, what is that? Can you look up? Can you look up that?
One
Gauri Shankar type the link up. Punam, yeah, if you type it, because
I'll
this kind
type
of
it.
not many people. Punam.
I'm typing. No problem.
Okay, Kunan cross oath. Okay, Kunan
Yes.
cross oath. Okay, okay. Okay, continue.
So this is where happening parallelly to the subjugation of the Aztec and Inca empires. You will see the same thing perpetrated inside India also. This is phase two. On one side you have internal corruption. Internal corruption with a state which is either actively supporting the corruption, or a state which is not capable of supporting the corruptions, or capable of controlling the corruption, or a state which is actively supporting the corruption, or segments of the society, segments of the state which are actively supporting the corruption. That is one aspect. Second aspect is violent imposition and killing anyone who opposed it. Or why do we need to go to Kerala? You have a look at Goan inquisitions. No, it's the same thing. They failed. Ultimately they failed. They failed because of Marathas. Because of the what is it? The sort of dominance Marathas had in the whole of India, they ultimately failed. But they tried. But whatever happened in Aztec and Inca empires happened in India also. This is the second thing. And I was telling about that. I was telling about this. What is the divergence of creeds, right? Between this Syrian Christianity and in Roman Catholicism, and the Nicene Creed. There are even there also you will see a sort of evolution. First they said that Jesus Christ was a human being. Second they said some of them existed parallelly, some of them existed one after another. First they said that Jesus Christ is a human being. Then they said that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Then they said that Jesus Christ is both the Son of and Nicene Creed said that Jesus Christ is both the Son of the God as well as the God. There is no difference between Son, God, and the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is a representation of the God. Okay. So Nicene. So basically, by around 150 to 180, Christianity transformed into something like there are three entities: Son, Father, and the Holy Spirit.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yes. And it's up to interpretation. Some people said that the Son and Father are different. Some people said that the Son, Father, and Holy Spirit are identical. All this is something like our Dvaita, Advaita, and Vishishtadvaita. In Advaita, there is no division between soul and body. So that is soul and the body.
Atma and Paramatma.
Atma and Paramatma. And the Advaita, both are different. In Vishishtadvaita, both are different, but serve the same purpose.
Then both are
serve the same purpose, but serve the same purpose. Physically they are different, but they are manifestation of the same thing. So at one point, what you see, one of these Christian cults, what they said was, Son, God, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. All three are not different entities, but a single entity fused into one physical entity. Okay, this cult was called as Miaphysitism. Miaphysitism. This was prominent in Syria area. The Byzantine Empire, it opposed this one. Byzantine Empire or Eastern Roman Empire, it opposed this cult. It violently tried to suppress this. One would say within 30 years of suppression of this cult, Islam started with the same idea. Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit are identical. Within 30 years, in the same area, you will see Islam rise. So you will see everything is an evolution. You cannot stop with evolution. At some point, when you try to put a break point, right, it will somehow avoid the break point and move forward. That is what they tried to do in Kerala also. What happened? Nothing happened. Now Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
One. So when the Syrian Christians, right, which use the Aramaic script, is the same group, right, which was suppressed in the Middle East
By the
from.
Portuguese.
Okay. So
No, it's not the same. It's not the same group. These Syrian, it is general. The Syrian Christians in India are generally assumed to be a trader community and not a refugee community.
Understood.
Kerala Jews are refugee communities, not the Christians.
Okay, understood. Okay, so are these the mystical variations of the Christian groups, or they are non-mystical types? The Syrian and Armen, the Syrian Christians. So you're saying they're moving closer and closer to the Advaita, right? That group. So the evolution was happening from very hard,
No. The comparison is between evolution from Christianity to Islam.
Okay. Oh, so you're saying as Christian became more Advaita, they became Islam.
Yes.
Okay, but without the the Murti.
Yes. Some people tried. Some people resisted it. Some people said that no. We need to take the new path. And after some time also, you will see that Protestant. What is Protestantism? A rebellion against the church, right?
Okay, so because their Advaita thought currents were being suppressed, a new religion came as a protest to evolve the Advaita thought current.
Whether it evolved or whether it was influenced by, but what we will see is within 30 years of the destruction of the old one, you will see rise of Islam.
Okay. There is too much of time and geography correlation to ignore.
There is too much there.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, please.
No.
Yeah, continue.
So this is second part. Third part is something like Zulu Empire of South Africa. Zulus were also sovereign powers. But what happened in the case of Zulus? They fought for some time against the Britishers, and in due time they were subjugated and conquered by the Jews. Sorry, by the Britishers. Now, were they violently converted? No. Were their traditions accepted by the Britishers? Yes. But what is the ground reality today? 96%, around 96% of Zulus are Christians. Okay, so without violence, they were converted to Christianity. You see this trend mainly in tribal areas inside India. The small example, you take the case of Nagas or Mizos. Nagas are what? 94% Christian. Mizos are 87% Christian. Mizos are 97% Christian. Nagas are 96, I guess. 91, somewhere in that area, 90 plus. Both of them are 90 plus. And Khasis are 85%, around 85% Christian. So this did not happen. This conversion did not happen through violence. This happened through mind control.
Peaceful methods.
You can't bribery. I don't know whether you can consider bribery as peaceful.
Psychological warfare.
And because
the emotional, it is a violence. There's no doubt, but there's no physical violence. It's only an emotional and mental violence.
Yes,
there's no physical violence.
What is the reason why they are refusing to hand over control of? What is the reason for opposition to Ayushman Bharat in India and support for Aadhav and their demand for RTE? Same thing, right? They don't want to lose control over hospitals and schools. That is where the indoctrination happens. Example, there is someone was telling there are some I won't take the names. There are some prominent Christian hospitals in India. First, the doctor gives you a placebo. He doesn't give you a proper medicine. You are admitted to the hospital. The doctor gives a placebo. You are not cured. Nothing. Your position doesn't change. In fact, it deteriorates. And then the second day, a pastor or someone comes. He prays for your well-being. Then the doctor changes the medicine to the correct medicine. You start getting cured. You believe in God and you convert. These things happen. If you are a Christian, you will get better medical facilities. If you are a Christian, you will get better educational opportunities. If you are not a Christian, you won't get that. The second thing is happening in Northeast India, especially in Arunachal.
So they could counter, and the Christians could say, and then they would say, so we are all doing because we want to convert to our faith, right? And our
Then that is not
God
service,
says
right?
that our religion says you do this. So they say, if you want to do, why don't you do? Why are you,
That is
making
what I'm
noise?
telling now. That's what I'm telling you. Then it is not service, right? If you're doing something in return, if you're doing something in return for something, then how can you call it a service?
Yeah, service, but we paid, right? Let's say you have a telephone service and you have and in the taxi service, but it's a paid service. Right? You get something in return.
Yes, this is service in the sense that in this case, service in the sense that I'm not expecting anything in return. Karma, it's my karma.
The charity is not same as dana. That means charity in the Christianity. So you cannot translate dana as charity, right? Dana is pure. Right? Nothing is expected in return, not even punya, right? So right, and then but the dana cannot be translated as charity. Charity means, and is a Christian meaning. The Abrahamic religion's meaning is that if you do charity, that means you give up your soul in return.
Exactly. It's a business model, right?
Yeah, it's a business model. It's not seva, right? Seva is the charity is not seva, right? Dana gives even when not in terms of crisis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, dana is always given, and based on the need, or you just wanted to do it. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the reason why I was telling. This is why I was telling, right? This internal corruption. You try to take the support of the state to enforce your right. Because you may argue saying that I'm doing it, or why don't you do it? I'm not. For me, I don't believe in the concept of a single supreme God. I also believe in the concept of a single supreme God. But my viewpoint of the world is not identical to your viewpoint. My viewpoint is that even you can simply distinguish in this manner. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, "Aham Brahmasmi." In Quran, Muhammad says, "La ilaha illallah." Allah is the only God. Here is Aham Brahmasmi. I am the God. I am the only God. I am the God. So meaning whatever in whomsoever you pray to, ultimately it reaches me. That is what Lord Krishna is saying. Allah is saying that you cannot pray. Muhammad is saying that you cannot pray to anyone else except Allah. The single statement, right? It accepts the concept of false gods. La ilaha illallah, it accepts the concept of false gods. Here also it accepts the concept of false gods. But what did it say?
No, in the Christianity.
Aham Brahmasmi.
Aham Brahmasmi. What does it say?
Aham Brahmasmi means I am the God, right? It also, in effect, it also accepts the concept of false gods. But what we are saying is, or rather, it also accepts the concept of multiple gods. Both of them accept the concept of multiple gods. That you are saying that if you don't pray to Allah, anyone except Allah is a false god. Here, what you are saying is there is nothing like a false god. Whomsoever you pray to, it will come to me.
No, but Aham Brahmasma doesn't condemn you for if you say I am God, he accepts you. I am Brahmasmi. I am also the supreme, the Brahman.
Yes.
Also is fine. But it doesn't imply that you are falling. If you don't do this, you are all the false God. It doesn't. Does it imply?
Exactly. That is what I'm trying to tell. Na? It does. It also Aham Brahmasmi also accepts the concepts of multiple gods, but it doesn't tell that this God is wrong, this God is correct. Whomsoever you pray to, it will ultimately reach to the Paramatma.
Correct.
Your prayers will reach to the Paramatma. This is our civilization mindset. We can't understand the concept that this God praying to this God is false, praying to this God is correct.
Whether you pray, see whether you have faith or no faith in God is still acceptable, right?
Yes, it is acceptable, and it really doesn't matter to you whether your God is Jesus or whether your God is Jesus or Vishnu or Lord Shiva. It doesn't matter for us.
It doesn't matter. Allah, Jesus, Krishna doesn't matter. You follow whatever it is. You follow anybody, you don't follow anybody, it's fine. But then in the Abrahamic religions, if you don't follow my way or highway, otherwise you are either condemned eternally or the enemy of God, right?
That is the ultimate problem, right? You are ready to accept his gods as your own God. They are not ready to accept your own God, and they're not even ready to accept. They're not even ready to accept their God as an equivalent of your God. This is where the clash comes.
Yeah, anybody who is not this version of God is automatically negated.
My enemy.
Enemy. Yes, heathens. So the Christians call non-Christians as heathens, right?
Yes.
Following the false God. And then the Muslims call anybody is a non-follower of Allah is automatic kafir, right? The enemy of God.
See, that's what it's a consequence of it's a civilizational outlook. We don't understand.
So then how do we resolve this? They're talking of a peaceful coexistence and then other this. So the Hindus are the ones who are the losers, who has no clarity about their religion and the world religions, right?
No, I won't say they won't. I don't say they don't. I won't say they don't have a clarity of them. But what I'm trying to tell here is, it's their civilizational outlook. It's their civilizational outlook that they what is it? It's their civilizational outlook that they cannot understand the concept of a false god. Hindus cannot understand the concept of a false god. This is
Hindus don't understand the concept of false gods.
Yes, this is where our problem is, and it was the same reason why Roman civilization was destroyed. Aztecs are different. They were violently conquered. Zulus are different. They were.
The Aztecs are different because they were violently conquered and subjugated and imposed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
Zulus are different. Zulus are different because they were conditioned to accept. They were conditioned to.
They were tricked to accept. They were tricked, basically tricked one way or the other. They are tricked, basically tricked to follow.
Tricked as well as indigested. Tricked as well as the religion was digested into Christianity.
Yeah, so they're tricked in many ways. So one is digested. They use many forms to convert.
Exactly. Example, you take the case of Mizos itself. Supreme God of Mizos, the Supreme God of the Mizo religion is a god by name Pathian. P-A-T-H-I-A-N.
P-A-T-H-I-A-N.
Pathian. Now, Pathian is a synonym for Jesus Christ.
Okay, so this Pathian god is from where? The South American?
No, he is Mizoram.
Mizoram. Oh, that's in East, Northeast India.
Northeast India. Now today, Pathian is a synonym for the Christian god. See, that is what we are seeing. We are seeing the three kinds of we are seeing the three kinds of the percolation of these Abrahamic religions into India. All three are there.
Who are the all three?
That's what the Roman style. Where corruption starts from inside. Aztec style, where there's a violent imposition of the religion. And this what is that? This Zulu style.
Trickery. So the Zulu style is being adopted. So they are using. So they say all over the world they used one method. But in India, because of the way it is being diversified, so they are using all three methods and one civilization. So eventually it will be swallowed.
Yes, that is the
aim. If Hindus don't wake up and understand, and if Hindus don't wake up and understand, they'll be swallowed. But so there are some arguments saying that why should Hindus care? Like say in the olden days, we used to have a bullock carts. Now we have a train and bus and car and the rocket and then the vimanam, that means the plane. So why should we care? Why should we hang on to the bullock cart? The Hindu religion is, if you compare with the bullock cart, and then the latest religions are compared with the newer versions of the transport of mode, right? So why can't we just accept the new one and then just dump the old one?
Okay,
how do you answer that?
Let me put the question. Let me put the question differently here. How do you justify that Christianity is in there? How do you justify that Hinduism doesn't contain what is already there in Christianity or Islam? How do you justify that? Tell me one aspect of Christianity or Islam which is not there in Hinduism.
Okay. So what do Christians believe?
They believe in the concept of single God. Okay. You take the case of example. You take the case of Nath Panthis itself. They believe only in Lordship.
Who? Nath?
Followers of Gorakhnath. Nath.
Gorakhnath.
Nath Panth.
Nath Panth.
They believe only in the concept of Lordship. Or take the case of these what is it, in Maharashtra, there are some bhakti cults, right? Varkaris. They believe only in they believe Varkaris. They believe only in who is the Lord of Pandharpur? Vithala. They
Only
believe
Krishna.
only in
Vithala means Krishna.
yes, not even Krishna. Only Vithala form of Lord. Only Vithala form of Lord.
Vithala form of Mahavishnu.
So how is it different from what they are doing?
Okay.
I am Hindu. See, crudely to put, Hinduism is a super religion. Abrahamism is a sort of religion. Those three are cults.
Which three are cults?
Judaism, Christianity, Islam. They're all cults. Abrahamism is a religion. Hinduism is a super religion. You can fit the whole Abrahamism into. You can take Shaivism inside Hinduism. Shaivism is almost Shaivism. You equate Shaivism to, you equate Vaishnavism to Abrahamism. Okay, these what is it? Varkaris to Jews or something. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you bring in the concept of single God, we are saying that we already have that, right? There are certain parts of Hinduism or Brahmakumaris or anyone or ISKCON, we already have certain part. Bhartanand.
Yeah, go ahead, Bharta.
I didn't want to interrupt your flow. So basically, is it accurate to say there are only two groups of religions in the world: Hindu religions and Abrahamic religions?
I won't say.
No. He didn't say that. He said, see, the Hindu religions are the super religions. The Abrahamic religions is like the religion, and the third one is that all three religions are cults. Yeah, continue. Let him say it. Put it in. He is not. See, you are putting both of them in the same pedal, but he's putting in a different way.
See, you take it something like this. I use the words something primary and secondary religions, right? A secondary religion is a child religion of primary religion. It is when I say child religion,
an offshoot. It's an offshoot.
It's an offshoot, and it deals with only a certain part of it, not the complete whole.
Not the whole thing. Yeah, just a child of the whole thing, but not the whole thing.
Yes. In the primary, again in secondary religions, you have two concepts. One which follows the concept of mosaic distinction, which places blind faith over everything, and one which follows. Which doesn't follow mosaic distinction, that is, which gives logic a considerable importance as compared to faith.
So what you're saying is, these in the way Abrahamic traditions are, they're subset religions. They're not branch religions.
They're subsets. No, they're not branches, right? Okay. Abrahamism, if you call Abrahamism as a religion, these three are different branches, right? Because
if you look at Shaiva Sampradaya, right? If you like Adi Shaivites, right? A lot of Shaiva traditions have come out of them. Yes. They are branches because they're complete.
Yes.
Whereas these are not complete; they are a subset.
They are complete in themselves.
Okay.
Islam is a complete religion. Christianity is a complete religion.
Okay, which includes the philosophy of all the Abrahamic traditions.
Yeah, because if you go to the whole Shaiva tradition, there is a common head. There is a common head coming from those 5 or 6 Shiva Puranas, right?
Okay, understood. Got it. Okay.
From there, they will select one strand and then they will diverge in the direction. They will splice off in the direction.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, continue.
But ultimately, what is happening is we are seeing all these three or four some modes of attack on India. Problem number two: Indians don't understand the concept of false god. That is that is our civilization
That is
output.
their blind spot. So the Hindus, not Indians.
Yes.
No. So let it do. Indians means Muslims. Indians means all religions come. Muslims, Christians, and all the Parsis, everybody. So we want to say Indian Hindus, right?
Okay.
So the
Call
Hindus
them.
in India, let's put it away, because even in India means they also, the Christians know exactly what they are doing.
Okay.
Right?
Then let's go for
The Muslims know exactly. Only the Hindus don't understand. So let's don't say Indians. If we want to say
that is okay.
Hindus don't understand the false god concept of false gods. Correct? Can we say
Yes.
that?
Exactly. Hindus don't understand the concept of false god. So if that is the case, that is the only question we need to attack. That is the only problem.
So that means basically we need to educate the Abrahamic religions to Hindus. So
there are two
right?
there are three ways to do that. One is Purvapaksha, that is telling people about Abrahamic religions and telling it how similar is it to Hindu. I won't say similar, and telling to people that there is something in Hinduism which is either identical to that religion, or which is identical to that religion, or which is better than that religion. Give me one reason.
There is no identical. We cannot say nothing is identical. Right?
No, it's not
nothing
identical.
is identical, because you say all paths leads to the God. There is nothing there in the Christianity or anything. Their religion is the greatest if all others are false, right? So
that is the reason.
Cannot even say,
That is the reason why I took the name of ISKCON and Varkaris. ISKCON says it's only Lord Krishna and nothing else. They say it's only Allah and nothing else. That is the reason why I said, let's not, if you talk about Hinduism completely, we will be in a big soup. Choose what that is. If you want to, well, this is what they are telling, this is what we are also telling. So what is your problem?
So if you are following, okay, if you want to follow similar to the Christianity, then you follow the ISKCON, right? Or
I won't say follow ISKCON. What I'm saying is, see, we also have it. So what is the difference? I'm not saying you. It's up to you. I cannot force you to do that. I cannot force you to follow something, or I cannot force you to.
What's the big deal? See, you have a car, I have a car. My car is as good as yours. Your car is as good as mine. So why should I even bother your car?
In fact, my car is better than yours. In fact, my car is better than yours.
My car is better than this. So why do you want to impose and sell me an inferior product to me?
This is exactly the thing. This is exactly the thing which we are missing from the religious aspect. We are not investing effort. We are not investing effort on number one. What is that? Teaching people about their own religion. Teaching people about the other religions which are competing with Hinduism. Number three, we are not keeping the bellies full, stomachs full. Because hunger is the main reason why people convert. You have all the first focus on all these three things will be corrected in no time.
What are the three? Summarize one more thing.
They need to know about their religion. They need to know about other religion. They need to know about their religion. They need to know about other religions. They need to have security in life.
Security
in life.
Security. What kind of security?
Security in the sense, see, hunger, for example. Anadana. For hunger, we have an answer in Anadana, but where is it being carried out? For example, where is it being carried out? Where are where is the government? Where are government hospitals? Why are we missing them?
Okay, so here is the thing, right? So I have the all three. Okay, so I have a question for that. See, the first one, teach Hindus about their own religion. Okay, I think I am fine with that. Okay, and I don't want to ask any question there. And the Hindu should be taught the other religion. Okay, I also am fine. the Hindu should be given food or the food security and the hunger.
Not just food, security in life. Security in life.
Financial security, right? So I will tell you that there's the guy who recently made that. So last 70 years, the central government has spent thousands and thousands of crores, crores and crores of crores, crore of crores have been
Where is
spent.
it going? Where is it going? That is the problem.
Hear me out, right? So if you see all the people who have been converted, let's take in Andhra Pradesh, right? If you say all the people who have been converted, the coolies who do a dashabhagam, dasha means 1/10 to the church, the coolies. And then I have heard stories, right? So it's not the food that everybody learned from the forest dwellers to the village dwellers to everybody have learned to take care of their food. They have learned to take care of their the shelter in their own way because they are happy with whatever they're doing.
No.
Hear me out and reject. Hear me out and reject.
Go on.
Yeah. So, if that is the thing, this is the tagline of the Abrahamic story, the talking point. We all sucked up into the talking point of that. We are all suffering. Hindus, all Hindus are suffering from, I call it Stockholm syndrome. We are carrying the Stockholm syndrome and agreeing and sympathizing and fighting for the captor, the invader, the hostage taker, right? They are saying that Hindus had annadanas, chowdhuries, and then everything was free for the sick and poor and the old. Cannot be there. You used to have satras when I was a kid, and then the annadana happened always. Not only that, if the villagers are going from one place to another, they used to have the water put in front of the house. They used to have the clothes in front of that. They used to give the food because there was no concept of hotel. There is no concept of selling. In Hindus, don't have a concept of buying the food, buying the the education. All these are all dakshina based, dana based. Right? The Indian Hindu society is being corrupted by the European and then the Western philosophy. The Hindu philosophy has been corrupted. That would be. So food, I'm not saying I'm not against that. If you see, the problem is thousands of crores of Hindus are giving money to the Hindu temples. What is happening to that? If all Hindu temples are free from the government control, and they can do it, they can give the free accommodation, free food, and like the way in the olden days. What happened? As long as the Hindus manage their own temples, the food security was there for the entire. See, every village is got the center of the village is a temple where they have got the annadana is there, and then everything is there. Food, accommodation, everything was there. Free. That because the dana, the concept of dana existed. What is the root cause is not having that. The root cause is the government interference in a secular environment, a secular democracy, secular constitution. Government messing with the Hindu institutions, the temples, the ashrams, the mathas and all. The government is taking the money. And recently I saw a report. I don't know how I am not authenticated.
That's all.
200 crores of money from temple Tirupati Devasthanam is being transferred to the exchequer of the AP Andhra Pradesh government.
It's not 200, it's more than that. Okay.
Right.
2400. Chandrababu Naidu's last year in power, 2400 crores was the total income of the temple, and temple got 900 crores back.
Yes.
1500 crores was taken by the government.
So that means if this money was not, see, this is not the Hindus are paying 2-3 times, not once. They have been paying. Hindus are paying their taxes to the government. That is their government's money, and government doesn't have any other business in the temple. So the Hindus are giving voluntarily money in the form of the donations, and they are also paying the money in the form of the fees, the visiting fees, right? Visitors fees, right? So why the Hindus are taxed is similar to jizya, right? Are similar to the third form of, they have been taxed so many ways. For Hajj, there is a subsidy. For Jerusalem visit, there is a subsidy. But for Hindus are penalized with that, and there's no free transportation, there's no free darshan, there's nothing there. So the problem is not Hinduism or Hindus or Hindu culture. The problem is the government. The government is messing with so the messing with the Hindus, Hindu institutions, and Hindu religion, and that should be freed from the government control.
See, ultimately, approximately that is what I was also hinting, right? What I'm saying is problem is not with the Hindus. Problem is not with anyone here. Problem is with the food. So the problem is with the security which people are getting. Do I have being a Hindu? Take the case of a poor Hindu. Take the case of a poor villager. Okay, being a Hindu, do I have the food security? Can I take my children? Can I put my children in proper schools? Do I have proper medical facilities? For a common Hindu, this is the situation we are in. Okay. Example, I'll give you the same thing which you said. There is an inscription, I think of from the time of Rajraj Chola from our country. There is a temple, Rajraj Chola or Rajendra Chola. Rajendra Chola, it was. What the inscription says, it talks about a temple somewhere in central Tamil Nadu. Generally, what happens is when the kings fall sick, there are a certain number of temples in Tamil Nadu where in Chola Empire where the pujas are conducted for the kings for their welfare. You will notice that almost every king who did not die on battlefield, you will see some sort of inscriptions detailing those sort of temples. However, one such temple, you will notice that it has got its own farm, it has got its own farmlands, it has got its own hostel, student hostel, it has got its own chowdhury, it has got its own hospital, it has got its own annadana counter. Effectively, it is a bank. Effectively, what we are saying is the temple itself is the whole government in that area.
It's as the sovereign government. It has its own
Exactly.
sovereign government, has its full
Yes.
capacity, defense, and everything, right? All the things.
Not defense. Defense. No,
The
not
defense is
defense
provided
is the
by the king.
responsibility of
The
the
defense is
Yes,
the political legitimacy is provided by the king, but
Yes.
everything, all the others, the management of the education, treasury,
Yes.
and all the treasury,
Exactly.
the social welfare, the education, and the treasury, everything is being taken care of by the temple administration.
Exactly. See, it is the producer. It is a producer. It is a consumer. It gives the job.
It is a provider. It is also a provider.
It is also the service provider,
Mm.
and it is an economically viable model.
Correct.
Because it has got huge farmlands. The farm labor is the one who will produce it, and the produce is sold in the market, and another is arranged using what is produced in the farm. The flower people buy from the flower merchants. The flowers come from the temple farms only. The flowers come from the temple farms. Ultimately, it's a completely organic ecosystem. That is what we are missing.
Yes. So
That is exactly what we are missing.
So the thing is, I do not want to accept that because of this religion, we are not giving a food security or the
it's
security
not.
the Hindus,
I'm not.
and then they deserve to get converted. Because of that reason, they deserve to get converted.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying because we are Hindus this is happening. I'm not saying because we are Hindus or because it's a fault of Hinduism this is happening. What I'm saying here is this situation is happening because Hindus are in that situation. This is happening because Hindus are in that situation today. We don't have any. There is no proper security. This is the reason why I specifically mentioned that Roman Empire at that point of time. Whether state is incompetent or whether state is a part of it, we are in a situation where Hinduism is being institutionally destroyed by the state. This
Correct.
is what
The institutionally destroyed by the state itself.
Yes.
So that is why the Hindus who are aware should fight for the the freedom of the government control, right? The Hindus should fight for the freedom of the the Hindu institution from the government control. Once we have our own control, once the Hindus have our own control, then we know how to take care of our society. We have already been demonstrated for until 1947. We have done it. And because our government, the secular constitutional secular government is supposed to take care of only the administration, but they have nothing to do with the Hinduism. They have no business,
In fact,
but they are doing it. And the Hindus subsequently for last 70 years, and actually more than before that, even during the independence also, during the British rule also, Hindu temples were taken over by the British, and all other religions fought and they got their control back, their freedom from the government control. Only Hindus have not done for last 150 years.
let me tell you a story at this point.
Hmm.
We come to in Monroe, Thomas Monroe, he goes to Mantralayam.
Hmm.
Okay, there he doesn't come to Thomas Monroe goes to Mantralayam for a survey,
Hmm.
and there survey of the temple, survey of the lands of the Matha.
Hmm.
There he doesn't get a clear information from anyone. Someone tells that you ask Raghavendra Swami, he will tell you. Swami Raghavendra. The Raghavendra passed away some 150 years before that. How can he tell me? Well, you just go to his just go to his place and ask him. He will tell you. Raghavendra, when he goes there, Raghavendra comes out and tells him that these are all the Matha estates and these are all not Matha estates. He tells that this is, and after that, what we are told is, because of his respect for Raghavendra, he left out the temple lands. He left out the Matha lands. This is what we will hear. But there is one question which no one will ask. Why exactly did Monroe go there? What was the name? Where is Ballari? Where is Ballari? Where is Mantralayam? Where is Bangalore? What's the need for a high-ranking British officer to go to a remote village like Mantralayam to do a survey there? This is the question no one asks. And the answer for that is, in 1818, there are two laws came, one in Bengal and one in Tamil Nadu. Sorry, one in
Madras presidency.
Madras presidency. One in 1806 and the second one in 1810. Both basically what the law says, the British government did a survey of all the temples, and the Britishers decided whether the temple deserves that much land holdings which it had. That is the reason why you will see, go to Tiruvannamalai. Where is the church? Is it really, or go to Madurai? Where is the main church of Madurai? Is it realistically possible? Possible for a church to be built that close to that major temple? Whole of them, the whole territory would have been temple lands, right? Then how did the temple lose control of those lands? That is one question people don't ask. Survey was done around 1800 to identify whether and a considerable amount of temple lands were snatched out of using that survey. This was not undone after independence. This is the first thing which should have been done after independence. This was not undone.
And during the immediately they would have been okay, because the British said whoever Christians who want to come back to Britain, they are all invited. Like all Muslims go to Pakistan if you want to go. All Christians, everybody. So then India was the Hindu country, so that would have been fine. But they have not done it.
That is also secondary. All I ask is, there is a rule, there is an anti-Indian rule which was brought in by the Britishers.
Anti-Hindu rule.
Anti-Indian rule, not Hindu.
Not Indian, because the temple is Hindu, not India, right?
Temple is Hindu, but who is there in India except a Hindu at that time? If you go to Madras presidency, where are the Muslims? It's only
the Muslims came much before British, right?
They are there, but where are they? They are there. See, Muslims also face the same issues. It's not just Hindus who face.
No, they fought and they made sure that nobody attacked their things. And
it's not about that. They also lost lands. Hindus also lost lands. Muslims also lost lands. Okay, forget about it. Forget about Muslims. Even if we say Hindus lost lands, why exactly did we not undo that? That is one of the first things.
That's a question nobody is asking.
I'll give you another nice example. 1925, Tirumala was taken over by British government. Justice Party was ruling in Madras, and in 1925, approximately, they took over the custody of Tirumala Temple and appointed TTD. They removed it from Hathiram Jimat and appointed TTD.
Removed from whom?
Hathiramji Bhatt.
Hathiramji Bhatt.
That was the one which controlled Tirumala temple. In 1921, Hathiram Bhatt, it bought the whole talukas of Tirutani, Narayanavana, Tirutani, Tirutani, Atimanjari, and it bought the total of 4 talukas, complete talukas for the temple. Nagalapuram, Atimanjari, Tirutani, and one more. Don't remember. It's not Narayanavana, I guess. It bought these whole 4 talukas of around 6,000 to 7,000 square kilometers of area. Are we really saying that that land is still with the TTD temple? So basically, even every single land transaction which happened in those 4 talukas, then talukas probably now they are districts. The whole Tirutani district which we are having today in Tamil Nadu. Every small transaction which needs to be done in that district should be done only by TTD officers. Is it happening? Does even TTD know that it owns this 5,000 to 6,000 square kilometers of stretch of land? And if TTD controls the whole land, tell me why should any temple in not just which are under TTD's control? Tell me why should any temple in South India think about funds?
Correct, exactly. So because of this is not, nobody is asking, nobody is fighting for.
7,000 square kilometers of 6,000 7,000 square kilometers of area is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a small estate of 10 acres or 15 acres.
Correct.
These are the sort of
these are all like equivalent to small countries,
middle-sized countries. Not just when I say 6,000 square kilometers, it's not and that is on top of what Tirumala already holds.
Correct.
So if I put in perspective, 6,000 square kilometers means how big is it? It's how many Madrasas put together? Chennai is put together.
Half of Israel.
Half of Israel.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So now, okay, I know. So anything else you wanted to say, or do you want to continue, or do you want to conclude?
I'm done with it. Because ultimately, see, that is the point which I was trying to raise. India, if you look, India is compare India with Roman civilization or Aztecs or Zulus, who are sovereign entities, and not with Jews. That is because reason number 1, the historic parallels. Number 2, the capability of enforcing a sovereign right. Number 3, there is no sympathy for the victim. In all 3 cases, aggressor has got sympathy and not the victim.
Yes, even today it's continuing. The aggressor is being praised. We are all following. That means the right characterization of Hinduism today is we are all suffering from Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome is a part of it's more about Dhimmitude than Stockholm syndrome. Dhimmitude is Stockholm syndrome is you show sympathy towards your
invader,
oppressor.
The oppressor and invader. We are showing the sympathy, right? Yeah.
But India's case is not exactly Stockholm syndrome. It is what is termed as Dhimmitude. Basically, what you are saying is you are showing your gratitude towards your invader for making you alive, even if it is as a subhuman. He insults you. Your oppressor, he insults you. He destroys. He shames you in public. But at least he is keeping you alive, right? You're showing gratitude to him for that. That is exactly what is happening. It's not even Stockholm syndrome.
So we are talking about, so both the Dhimmitude. So the Hindus have Dhimmitude means what are we doing? It is have a gratitude to the aggressor.
It is a sort of gratitude shown towards the aggressor for keeping you alive, even if it is in subhuman conditions. That is that is how we are mentally tuned. That is how we are mentally tuned.
But
British brought in railways. We say that British brought railways to India. But did anyone go and question where does the railway start and where do the railways end? Why do the railways start where there are mines and why do the railways end where there are seaports? Why did anyone question that?
So railway is always connected from seaports to the mines, or where the produce are where.
Did anyone question that? But what do we learn? British.
So they built a road for their, to conquer you. They built a road to subjugate you. Oh, so instead of saying that, they are beating you up and they're stealing you. So instead of recognizing that they're stealing you, so they are saying, oh, I made a road to you. I don't care for a road money you stole. With the money you stole, I can build 1,000,000 roads.
We won't tell that. That is what I'm telling. This is the problem. No one tells us that no one tells us where the track starts and where the track ends. People will only tell you that British.
No, because that's what I'm saying. So we are continuing the narrative promoted and then started by the invader, the captor, the ruler. Right? We're still continuing the same thing.
So the only solution for that is one, knowledge. Both knowledge, both secular as well as secular knowledge as well as theological knowledge. Theological knowledge of both our religion and the religion of others. And more importantly, a sort of sustenance for Hindu ecosystem.
So sustenance for the Hindu. There's only one simple rule. You get the control of your institution, you already have the sustenance is guaranteed. Because Hindus are already have billions of dollars.
There also, I can tell effectively both mean the same. Either government releasing government releasing temples out of the control, or government taking over the estates from all the religions. Both mean the same.
No. Then I won't know that, because in a secular the constitution,
there is nothing. There won't be anything secular after that. Reason why I'm saying it is, see, today the situation in India, practically to speak, tell me how many people can manage a temple of the size of Chidambaram or Madurai. That also we need to notice, right? A temple of the size, let's say take the case of Madurai temple. Let's say we'll give it back its 5,000 or 10,000 acres of land. Tell me how many people in India are capable of running, how many Hindus or how many people in India are capable of running a temple of that size? And there are at least 50 to 60 temples of that size. That is the reason why I'm saying, yes, free temple. Bharadanachi.
I just wanted to add one point. Sorry, I just wanted to add one point here, right? See, when you are basically making one point that Hindus cannot run temples of that.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it practically possible? That is all I ask.
Yes, it's guaranteed. 100%. I'll tell you. Yes, 100% guaranteed. It is possible.
I don't have a problem.
Yes, it is 100% guaranteed. Not that Hindus are more than capable. When a Hindu can run the whole country, the 1/7 of the world, the geography, he can very well. And then if you see the Tatas, Birlas, and then the Ambanis, they can run the whole, the huge, the billions of dollars of worth of things.
So you are looking. Then, if that is the case, we are not looking at running temples. We are looking at making temples and isolated and independent economic units.
No, they have even now. They are the independent. They are independent economic units, entities running. The government is using as their subsidiaries.
Exactly.
So all we want is, hey, leave me alone. It's my company. I will run. It's my. See, you have your Vyavasayam. For example, let's say a farmer has his own Vyavasayam. He's capable of doing 100 acres, 200 acres. He's there. He's been doing for thousands of years. There is absolutely no problem. You came and you subjugated him. You made him the Samantaraju. That means you are.
No. The reason why I said this thing, right? Whether Hindus are capable or not, the reason why I said this is, most of the major temples in India, forget about what are there in British area. Okay, most of the major temples in India are funded by the state. For example, take the case of Sabarimala, or take the case of Palani. Palani is run by Cochin government. Sabarimala and Trivandrum are run by Travancore government. Banaras temple, Kashi Vishwanath temple is maintained by Banaras kingdom. That is the reason why I'm saying.
Correct. The reason is
I'm not saying we are not.
They have never taken over. Right. This is the problem. This because this is an enemy line. We are repeating the parroting. We are parroting the enemy line. I'll tell you.
Here, can I interrupt? See, there is one aspect of Hinduism which is not well studied, is the differentiation of sabhas. You have Rajya Sabha, you have Deva Sabha. So Deva Sabha doesn't interfere. See, even though the kingdom might be administering the kingdom, the Deva Sabha runs independent of the king.
See, that is the fundamental thing. No, what is happening is the state will have to fund the temple.
No, we don't want the state to fund.
It happens.
See, I'll tell you why. No. Hindus are capable of taking care of their own things and all.
Yes,
so the original, if you see, this is where I do not agree, right? Because this is an enemy line. The Hindu temples were taken over by the government and they were doing all that. They have no business. You hand over the temples back to the Hindus. They can manage, they can raise the funds. Like, for example, okay, I'll give you a simple example. Recently, when what is that? The Sri Rama temple, Ayodhya temple came, the thousands of crores of money has been poured in. Right?
Yes.
So the moment you say, the government says, okay, you take over your temples, you have this much time to do, and you run your own temples, let the Hindus form their trust and let them raise the money, how they raise money for the Sri Rama temple in Ayodhya. Same thing, the millions and millions of crores and crores.
See, that is what I'm saying. If it is workable, I'm more than happy.
No, it is workable. It worked in the past. It is workable. It will be there. If you see the bats and all these things, and even the latest example is proven. But I don't want to agree. One thing I am ferociously fight and to the tooth and nail, is that this is the garbage through, right? Oh, you guys are all savages.
No. It's not.
You need to be civilized. You guys are you Hindus are not capable of managing the finances.
No.
I do not want to listen to that.
It's not about Hindus are capable. It's not about whether Hindus are capable of running the temples or not. It's more about the fact that most of these temples were run by governments and not by individuals.
Correct. No, it should be run. Okay. What the way they should be run is right now they still have the government entity that all you do is you create the trust. If the trust is there, then hand over to the trustees and the trustees let them be. See, right now the selection is done by the government. Instead, let the Hindus, the members of the Hindu, the things, they let them be the electors. Like how the government is elected by that. Let the trustees. Let the members of the Pitas, right? Let them run the show. They will figure it out. You give them the time and you hand over it, and then you let them manage it, and then let the trust be taken care of themselves. Like the way how the individual. See, you have your business, you are running it, and there are so many. See, if you see Chidambaram temple, it's independently. It's not governed by the government, right? It is run by their own trust. Run by the trust. Like that. Like that, it's already shown, right? Chidambaram trust is a huge one. Chidambaram temple is a huge one. They are running themselves. So I want everybody to run by themselves. Yeah, continue.
That is what I'm trying to tell here. If there is a capability, I don't have any problem with that.
No, I don't want even the question is invalid. No, the question is rejected.
Fine.
No, I want to reject the question. I want even reject the question because that's an invalid question. That's an enemy question, which they have been doing it for last 200 to 300 years. I don't want to entertain that question.
No, it's not. It's not about that. What I'm trying to tell, if you can, what is it? If you can release the temples out of government control, I'm more than happy. Every Hindu is more than happy, because first thing is the main reason why. One of the fundamental reasons which it will handle one of the fundamental things which will it will handle is not about the control of religion, but control of the local economy. That is the thing. That is the thing. Control of local economy in the hands of Hindus. This is my aim of talking about releasing temples. Not even theological. It's more about handling local
economy. It is taking care of the local economy. See, let's say the local economy.
That is
always the entire Hindu kingdoms, the ruling Hindu, the way of doing is it's a temple-based economy. It's a temple-based lifestyle. So the temple-based economy, everybody, the farmer is taken care, and the flower merchant, and everybody, the puja, everybody is taken care of by the temple. So the temple is supporting in parallel to the government. Whatever the government is doing, let them do it. But the temple is taking care of the local community, and let the local community take care of themselves.
Yes.
This is the reason. And let the local citizens there live there. It is their thing. Let them manage and let them do it. That's one. Or let all the Hindus, are the members of the members of that temple. Let them elect the local the trustees, and let the trustees be let the trustees have election every year, and let the members will select the trustees, and let the trust run the show. That's my
this is the reason. This is the reason why I said, in case if this is not, I told government should take over the. If you say India is a secular country, it needs to have control. It needs to have equal respect and control for every religion. Either release the temples out or take control of everything. We want release the temples out. If you cannot release the temples out, take everything in.
Ultimately, Peters, we should do. No, Peters also, no, that he was, Gauribatta is talking about the Peters. No, I don't even want to get in there. I want only one point. Hey, Mr. Government, Mrs. Government, you have no business in my temples. Leave me alone. Release me at once. We will deal with that. Okay, you give us 6 months, 1 year transition plan. We will deal with that. I don't want to negotiate. I don't want to ask anything. You release my temples, you have no business. Period. Okay, even if it's a Hindu nation, I'm telling you, even if you make India as a Hindu nation, like the way Pakistan is an Islamic nation, even if you make India as a Hindu nation, still the temples have to be governed by their local, the local people, the members, the local citizens of that. The reason is
the concept of the concept of Devasabha.
Correct, exactly. Devasabha, you Devasabha and Rajya Sabha. You do yourselves and I'll do mine. You don't interfere. Why? We don't like the big governments. The moment you have centralized control, you have a big government, it has the bureaucracy, it has the corruption, and is it too big to do. So in the olden days, every village is a kingdom. You let them manage because the local people, it is their thing, right? It is your thing and you manage your own show. Why you want to do others? Then the temples which because it's all there, then where the local temples don't have money, let them donate the money to these temples. Right, because it's the temple money, it's the Hindus' money.
This is exactly how the structure. This is exactly how the structure operates. There is not you don't have a single temple there. It's always a cluster of temples. One main temple managing smaller ones. This is always how it happens.
Correct. So let them have all the Pitas and Pitadipatis, all of them have the higher thing. Let them guide how to do, and let them also, give the guidance to the local temples. Hey, this temple need money, so why don't you just donate this money to this temple? Let they're all the Pitadipatis, Mandaleshwars. Let them all have the guidance. It's not non-binding guidance. Let them do it, and let the temples.
A small thing here. When I said if the government cannot release Hindu temples, they need to take over structures of other religions, is what I told you. Okay, one minute. Let me come to that. Theologically, according to any Abrahamic religion, the Indian government, a non-religious government, India is not a Christian government, or India is not an Islamic government. Theologically, Indian government cannot take over mosques and churches. It is against the religion to take over mosques and churches, and that can never happen. And that means the only alternate for that is to release Hindu temples. whether you are putting government taking over those religious structures, or whether you are asking government to release the Hindu temples, both are same in this case, because government cannot take over churches and mosques. That is the ground reality.
No, I know. You are using as a strategy. The reason I don't want to go into that strategy, I'll tell you. Now, instead of fighting with one entity, now you are fighting with millions. Why you want to fight?
That is because I'm dragging the other people into the discussion. I'm dragging everyone into it.
Example, why? How is it going to help you?
I'll tell you. Do you know that there are some mosques and temples which are owned by government of India, but which are not under government control? What happened to the take the case of Makkah Masjid of Hyderabad. That is owned by the Nizam of Hyderabad. When did it become a private entity? That is a government mosque, right? Hyderabad was conquered by India. Junagadh was conquered by India. Junagadh was also not conquered. Hyderabad was conquered by India in a military invasion. Any state property in Hyderabad kingdom becomes the property of government of India. How did Makkah Masjid come out of government of India's control? Or take the case of all the churches which are maintained by British government, British Crown. Example, Thomas Mount, St. Thomas Mount, that is maintained by the British Crown. How did it come out of Indian government's control? In fact, there was a note issued in 1960s or something which says that it gave a list of all the churches which were maintained by British Crown and which are actually property of British property of Indian government. Where did all those? Who controls them today? Why isn't government of? There are around 30 or 35 mosques, 30 or 35 churches like that. Plus, you have Makkah Masjid and other state mosques in Hyderabad. Who exactly is controlling them? Or even the state churches in Goa? Who exactly is controlling them? It's not the government of India, right? You try to enforce Indian government's right on those entities which are legally Indian governments. Let's say the whole hell will break loose. So only this is one of the reasons why I was not.
You are constantly dragging. So you are saying as a strategy,
yes.
You are dragging them because it's illegal. So that as a secular government, what you are doing, even though you own it, but you handed over the control to the respective religious religions. Religious
when you try to force them to take over their religious properties, then
they'll say, okay, get rid of them. Okay, now that you let go of the control of all the religions, why you want to have it? So the strategy you are saying, which is much easier, because you go and file a case against the government saying that, and it is a government property. Why you are not running the